Okay, so I was actually sitting around waiting for Scott to show up when I started it, but he showed up like halfway through the trailer. So before I let you on, we are live already, so I just want to give you an advance warning. And boom, there you go, man. Welcome.
Hey, everybody. How's it going?
Hey, no, dude, I slept like 12 hours after that 24-hour stream. So yeah,
Nice.
yeah, I had a pretty
See
good
it bounce off the walls, huh?
Yeah, I'm ready to go. Now today, I just, spending a shitload of money and spending time with lawyers. Yeah, that's a great way to spend the day after after that awesome campaign the night before. But hey, that was fun right there. Oh man, good point. Trailer isn't about music; it's about plot, backstory, and pie. That is right, man. You guys know it. But getting my own, I'm gonna have to cut a shorter video of that to use as an intro now. But yeah, man, we're actually here today with Scott to talk about his campaign. Once I pull it up, instead of stopping and restarting, I'm just going to keep copying over into the same tab. See, even I'm capable of learning. Yeah, this time we got Chaotic Flux issue 2. But here's the important thing. Let's scroll through here. Are there any issue 1s that you can still get?
Yes. You can get issue 1 as an add-on to any of the issue 2 tiers.
Oh, okay. So it's not available at all here. It's just once you click on it, it's an add-on.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So yeah, I just had to clarify that because every time we got a, we got a series that's not just starting out. Yeah, now people got to have a way to get the first issue. So hey, that is good. And how much does issue 1 go for?
$7 in this version of this campaign. It went for 10 for its own campaign, but I bumped it down to 7 for this one. So you can actually get issue 1 and 2 for $25 for physical. That includes shipping, and that's 54 pages of story. Or you can get both PDFs for $8.
All right, man, that is good. That is good to know. And you got your own video here, so I'm actually. You mind if I just play that, and then we can get into exactly what this is we're going to be discussing. So I'm just going to mute my mic here, and we'll play this one. Oh, that was pretty good, man. Even my artist was actually just telling me through Discord, it's like, hey, tell him I think that art looks awesome. So
Awesome.
hey, it's good.
Thanks, man.
And
Appreciate it.
the chat seems to think this is the trailer for the new Doom animation.
That's a pretty good compliment, actually.
Yeah.
Are they making an animation? That'd be awesome. I
It
haven't heard
would be, man.
Yeah.
But I remember the movie with, I mean, not the recent one, but
Uh-huh.
the one with The Rock. That
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
God damn, that I will remember that to this day, just because it was showing on Cinemax.
Right.
Like, I think it was like direct to cable. I think it wasn't even at, or maybe if it was at the theaters,
I
I
think it
saw
did
it
come out
like
in
shortly
theaters. I
after.
think
Yeah.
it did. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Uh,
So first theaters, then it went to the pay-per-view stations, and
mhm.
then it released. So it was actually premiering. It was having its TV premiere on Cinemax, if I remember right, and because I know I watched it on Cinemax, because I remember it was going to be airing at 8 o'clock
Uh-huh.
no, my time was airing at 8, and as I oft do, I turned my TV on at like 7:30 and just turned it on to Cinemax. Like, I'll just to make sure I don't forget, I'm gonna leave it running while I'm sitting here doing some shit. Yeah, it was right at the tail end of some softcore porno, and I was still living with my parents back then too. So yeah, I mean, I was just there in my room. Yeah, there was playing World of Warcraft or whatever I was doing, turned on the TV, the Cinemax, getting ready to wait, and then echoing throughout the whole house. Like, really?
Wow.
Fucking Cinemax? Yeah, that was special. But yeah,
Memories.
exactly. I remember that more than the movie. I don't really remember anything about the movie except that they had that one first person sequence. That was
That's the only
cool.
thing I really remember too, when they tried to copy it from the game. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But and that's really all I can remember about that
Mhm.
whole movie. But I remember all the lead up to it.
Right.
Because, yeah, just oh well.
Oh,
But
well.
either way, we're here to talk about Doom's spiritual successor, Chaotic Flux, Aliens versus Monsters. So, yeah, would you mind giving us the rundown of what this is all about?
Okay. Oh, Chaotic Flux centers on a team called the Crimson Flame, who unite in the future to rid the world of these mutant abominations that are taken over, called Dread Fiends. And they stand together as humanity's last hope. The main characters, that focuses on in issue 1 and 2. Zathara, she's an alien hybrid, can form these crystal-like structures at will. She turns them all sorts of different types of weaponry. She mainly uses them as these kind of like blade arms that she'll fight with, but she'll also, for instance, make giant axes or throwing daggers, and you'll see her use her abilities in different ways throughout the series. And issue 1 gets into her first run at the Dread Fiends, as well as it gets into her backstory, how she was hunted. She's been hunted by an organization called the Order of the Purging Hand most of her life. And as a child, her and the children that are like her are housed in this military facility for the protection. Well, the Purging Hand infiltrate the facility and start killing everyone within the facility to get to the children to exterminate them. The organization believes that anything not naturally of Earth should not exist, should be wiped out. So that's why they're trying to get to the children. In the present time, they're also fighting the Dread Fiends as well. So there's this kind of cross thing between different factions. And in issue 2, it focuses on a story where Zathara is forced to save a family from being devoured by a Dread Fiend, from becoming their next meal after they save her. And there's also in issue 1, you get introduced to Soren, who's an exosuit pilot. He fights in this exosuit called a Reaper that's all kinds of great weaponry. He's actually the leader of the Crimson Flame. And you also get introduced to Strife, who is a big transforming AI mecha. He actually self-engineers and can reconstruct himself and form new things as well. As long as he has the materials to do so, he can form just about whatever he wants. For instance, he'll turn himself into a ship mode to transport the team around in. And he'll also create different types of weaponry for the teammates in the series. A little later comes in Nalaria, who's a fire-based mage, as well as Pagan, who's a plant-based mage, and Gyarados, who is a huge 8-foot-tall swordsman with a giant transforming sword. And the Dread Fiends themselves are actually these genetically engineered creatures. They're genetically engineered as a food source for humanity. In the future, due to great catastrophic events from climate changes, but also from war going on for fighting over the lands over what land is still usable. Um, there's a great food shortage, so they create these life forms as a food source that can both survive in the harsh elements, but also reproduce very rapidly.
No way that could go wrong.
Yeah. So they actually start to mutate on their own and turn against humanity. And they have this insatiable appetite that where they're constantly hungry to sustain. They have to constantly feed to sustain themselves. And when they do feed, they're able to, if they choose to, they can break down that biomass and use it as a fuel to mutate themselves. They can make themselves bigger, stronger, faster, wings for flight, for instance, where they need to get their brain in a battle. And they can also reproduce by cloning themselves. And after they clone themselves, they'll regurgitate that clone, and it'll quickly grow into adult form. And that's how they're able to spread so quickly. So I've made these. They're basically this ultimate kind of monster that I designed. They're very much influenced by the Resident Evil monsters, as well as various other, really crazy, awesome science fiction monsters and fantasy monsters. And
so it's not just a boss. That's what they all look like.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. Or after they mutate, they might look different. Should be a spoiler, but in issue 3, there's a moment there's a part coming where you'll see one of them mutate very on an extreme level, and they become this even more super monster kind of thing. And they'll even turn on each other as well if the situation calls for it. If they see an advantage where if I eat this one and I can get stronger by doing that, then they'll do that. They'll turn on one another. So they have this, extreme survival instinct as well. Also, every new generation that forms, and every new clone, is a new generation, is a little better than the last. So a little smarter, a little stronger, a little faster. So there's this kind of ultimate challenge for our team to push them to evolve and get better and stronger as the series goes on as well. You see a lot of that in Zathara's story in these first 2 issues of her pushing herself and having to stand up and evolve in her abilities and her skills and her strategies to outsmart the creatures and survive. We're coming soon to where you'll get more of Soren's story as well, and Strife. I'm going to start jumping into those guys, and then the other 3 characters come a little bit later after that, and eventually they'll all be united as a team and go up against a common foe. And this kind of I'm building it kind of like the Avengers movies, where I'm fleshing out their backstories, building their arcs. Strong arcs for them early on to get you, introduced to them and attached to the characters, and then they'll unite as a team all together. But as the story's going on as well, I'm slowly also connecting them, but it won't be for a little while before you get all of them together. There's also Malakar. He comes into a little later as well. He's another villain, and he's this entity that is made up of all of the hatred of mankind, all the dark thoughts, all the negative ideas that have come from man, feed his existence. And he believes that he hates his existence, and he wants to just cease to exist. So he believes the only way to do that is to annihilate the human race. And so he's another great threat that comes into the series. He embodies a young man named Gabriel, who happens to be Nalaria's brother and Pagan's son, and uses Gabriel as his vessel to interact with our world, to interact in our dimension, and begin his quest to annihilate the human race. I should also say too, in issue 2, we are introduced to Thraxus Prime, who is another villain. He's more of a side villain, but he has an interesting connection to Zathara, as he is the leader of the Order of the Purging Hand in the present time. There's a story that's coming in issue 4 where it tells how he's greatly damaged, and he gets turned into a cyborg, and he gets turned through nanotech, and he's able to then control this nanotech, and he can kind of infect others with it and turn them into cyborgs as well, and kind of like slaves of his, forcibly making them into cyborgs and under his control. and he starts to infect all of the members of the Order of the Persian Hand, turning them to cyborgs, as he believes that this is the best way for them to evolve in this dark future as things get more chaotic now that the Dread Fiends are around, and in order to try to best their foes. So yeah, there's a lot of different layers, obviously going on. I got a lot of story coming as well, and some more interesting characters. Malachar has a main minion that he forms. He's kind of like this really badass demon type character named Deathless, and he creates him through a very interesting way. I can't say, but it's actually pretty shocking. There's a lot of twists and turns in the story. There's a lot of big surprises, a lot of things you're not going to expect. One of my biggest influences in terms of the story writing styling is Game of Thrones, where you have these big surprise twists and unexpected things. Unexpected deaths happen, and just catch you off guard. But the also the main focus of the series is lots of momentum. For instance, issue 1 and 2 have a lot of momentum where once they go going, they just go and go and go. For instance, issue 2, it's a big life or death race against time to save that family that Sitara is trying to protect and keep from getting eaten by the Dread Fiends. And so, like I was saying, Game of Thrones is the main influence. The 90s style X-Men, particularly the Age of Apocalypse storyline. I'm a big fan of that storyline. That's my favorite X-Men storyline, because the X-Men are pushed their absolute limit in that storyline in terms of their abilities and their working together as a team and survival. So that's a big influence on this book. That's exactly how I'm going that direction with the members of the Crimson Flame, as well as Battle Chasers is a big influence because there's a very diverse team. You had a big robot. You had a cool little old man wizard. You had this girl with these gloves that made her super powerful, and then you had the big swordsman. So my team is very diverse as well, and then also, of course, the Resident Evil monsters are a big influence on the series.
Awesome. Mm-hmm. And at the bottom of this page here, I can see some important news. So first off, this is book 2. So you already released book 1, and you can also get it here. And book 2 is a few weeks away from done, and it's off to be printed and shipped out, apparently.
Yeah. I think we're at, it should be before the end of March that all the pages will be done, and then we'll ship it off and get it printed. And you bring up an interesting point with the whole print ninja thing, with the whole stuff going on in China and whatnot. I am kind of in the process now of also looking at another printer, because it could be weeks. They're saying that before they're back to normal. I mean, who knows when they are going to be back to normal? I know John Malin, who does Graveyard Shift. He's looking at the same issue. He prints with Print Ninja, and he's used them for years, he said, and he pressed them a lot. He said they're a great service, but because of that going on over there, he's now looking at alternatives as well. Just because, I mean, he's kind of the same way. He doesn't want to make everybody wait so long to get the books. And I did say that I'm shooting for a March release there in the campaign, and I'm still aiming for that. I found a printer that can do prints in about a week and get them to me, and they're based in the US, so I'm looking at them right now.
Yeah, I was actually looking at Mix'em myself.
Yeah, that's the one. Yep.
Yeah. It looks like I think their costs are a bit higher than Print Ninja's are.
Yeah, but they're not that bad.
Oh yeah, but Print Ninja's costs are more than made up for by spending thousands of dollars to ship it across the ocean and waiting a few months.
Yeah, once you add up all the shipping, it's not that much of a difference. Yeah.
Yeah, and then actually, I think Drew made a good point on my giant ass launch stream that at least with something like with a company like Mix'em, if they fuck up, you can pretty much call them, talk to them, work something out, get replacements in pretty quickly, and without having to spend another couple $1,000 and wait 2 or 3 more months. Yeah, and no, I got nothing bad to say about Print Ninja. It's just the logistics of having your shit produced in another country. Like
Right,
that's
right.
it's,
Plus,
it's
what's
something
going
that
on over there right now?
yeah, so that's not something that everyone's going to want to deal with.
Right.
Yeah, and people, this is the type of thing that people would be willing to pay more money just so they don't have to deal with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's only like I think it's like maybe 100 or two more, or something like that. It wasn't too bad to do it the same quality that I was planning to do with Print Ninja.
Was the first one done through Print Ninja?
No, I did them through a company called I want to say it was Gold China, something like that, something gold, and they about it was at least a box worth that I had gotten. It didn't come in good quality to the point where I couldn't sell them. Like not definitely not at least at full price, and I haven't sold them. They're just sitting in a box, and it was about I think 200 copies or something like that that I just couldn't sell. And then I also found out that they shorted us some. And when I contacted them and asked them, well, can you give me a refund? And they just cut ties with me. So I was like, well, screw you guys. That's another thing I think, when you're dealing with, like you said, locally, you have more of a chance of getting a hold of them and getting them to do something. But when they're on the other side of the world, it seems like, I guess they feel like, well, you're way over there. You can't do anything to me. I'm just going to cut you off. That's what it felt like with these guys.
Oh man, yeah, that's another thing too. Now they got no obligation to even continue dealing with you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, what are you gonna do to them? You gonna sue them over there
Right.
on the other side of the planet? Yeah,
Yeah. I don't have that kind of money. If I had that kind of money, I wouldn't be crowdfunding.
yeah, that's right. Exactly.
I just produce the book and put it out.
I mean, dang, anyone who's ever used lawyers before, how expensive it is, even just to get contracts drawn up.
Mm-hmm.
So that's it's something you got to do though. Yeah, have this say you got to spend? Oh, actually, no. This person here, though, who seems to have suffered some pretty grievous injuries and almost looks undead.
Right.
Is that a villain or one of the good guys?
Yeah, that's actually Lieutenant Vladik, and he is one of Thrax's Prime's minions. So one of the Order of the Purging Hand members who got turned into a cyborg against their will. And there's parts in issue 2 where you'll see kind of representation of that he's under Thrax's Prime's control, and he has no choice but to do as he bids. And more of that will come in the series as well. You'll see more of that, and you'll also see how Prime does it, how he infects others and turns them. And of course, this becomes another threat to the team, because they could also be turned into slaves as well by his ability. I have some interesting ideas for Prime as well. He's kind of okay. So he was already kind of crazy, and then now that he's a cyborg, he's even more crazy. And he's kind of obsessed with bettering himself, evolving himself. And there's some interesting elements that come out of that as the story goes on. He gets pretty radical in terms of his lack of morality and I guess inhumanity towards others.
So, and is that something he always had, and it just now got exacerbated?
Yeah, I mean, you'll see in issue 4 where he's rather heartless when he started out as just a regular human, and this organization kind of he's using it as a platform to exact his extreme rage, his anger issues, if you will, and the organization has been trying to keep him in check, but pretty much once he becomes a cyborg and they give him all those abilities, he just lets loose and feels like nothing can stop him. And then he actually is the self-proclaimed leader in the present. He takes over the organization by will or against their will, and then begins to enslave everyone that's a part of it and force them to do his bidding.
Oh, your book covers slavery, and it's not identical to what people experienced like 200 years ago in the U.S. You realize you're going to be canceled for that, right? Yeah. I hope you're ready. Yeah, you're freaking canceled.
I'm ready.
Yeah.
I mean, if they make that connection in such an extreme, I guess I won't be too surprised, but I'll also be like, really?
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be too surprised either, man.
mm,
Like not in the slightest.
mm.
Oh shit. Yeah, looking pretty cool, man. Looking pretty cool so far. Oh yeah, so she's what, did she try to like punch the guy here? Because I mean, you see from
No,
here on the cover, she can transform her arms into like this axe thing at
mhm.
least. Huh?
No, that situation. That's okay. So, um, she's actually. I mean, the Dread Fiends are trying to in that part, or they're trying to rip her apart, and you're seeing where they're ripping her. They're pulling her arm out of the socket, basically. In that moment. If you, I think it's on
Hmm.
this. I think I got that page up. If you scroll
Oh,
down,
yeah, there.
yeah, and then if you scroll down a little more, you can see there's the pop, and the word effect, and that's from the ripping or not ripping, but pulling her arm out of the socket as they're
So
trying to rip her apart. But that energy blast comes in and that interrupts them from ripping her apart.
I guess they don't like all the little bits of a human, so they were just gonna, just like pop her arm off and suck out
Well,
the juices, or what?
in issue one, they she gives them such a hard time because they do like as they're intelligent, so they do have this kind of I mean, they have the ability, to want revenge and anger and what have you. So in that moment, it's just the Dread Fiend slowly torturing her before he does devour her.
Hmm. But this time she doesn't get devoured, so that's good. Oh
I'm trying
man.
to say too much because I won't spoil too much, but
Or yeah. Oh, so I guess the other alternative would be that, maybe she does, and then she just busts her way out from inside
right.
him. But then again, I mean, clearly this dude's freaking lunchtime was interrupted right here.
Mhm.
So and all he's trying to do is enjoy a tasty snack, but no, these fuckers just
No.
won't let him have it. What's wrong with these people, man?
And that's something that like again, as far as the characters getting better in terms of abilities and what have you, and the situations you go through, but also, I'm a firm believer of characters, getting beat down and having vulnerability, but it also at the same time just makes them stronger. They get up, from the beat down and fight harder. And that's a good. This is actually a good moment for her. That's it builds more of that character out of her. Where I mean, she gets her butt kicked sometimes, but she comes back as hard as she can, kicking butt still. So
Hmm. And it looks like she can probably, if she can turn her arm into one of these axe things, she could probably fix just a little dislocation. I hope,
mm,
right?
yeah. Well, I mean, I don't think it'd be much of a spoiler, but after that part, she does pop her arm back in place and keep going. So yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah, because
Yeah, be
I
fine.
that's another thing too about her. Even though she does get beat down, she's a tough girl. She's a tough character. She can kick some butt, and she can take some pain. So, like I said, she gets her arm knocked out socket, and she just pops it back in and keeps going. So, um, but yeah, I'm not overpowering her either. So, she's still got the humanity to her, for sure. All the characters in the series, you'll see or all the heroes anyway. Um, they're not overpowered or what have you. They'll get beat down, but they, especially when they come together as a team, though they really shine. I got a lot of great ideas for cool like power team ups and cool just strategy team ups and that sort of thing, as well as really good relationships that are coming between them. Build that great emotional attachment and all that fun stuff.
Awesome. And the best part is, you said, well, you could get both books for like what, $17?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
issue 1 and 2, physical, you can get it for 25, and that's with shipping. 54 pages worth of story. Issue 1 is 26 pages. Issue 2 is 28. So 54 pages combined. And you can also get the PDF 1 and 2 for $8. And then the deluxe package, that's a little above there. That one, you get 2 trading cards. I'm sorry. Well, you get issue 2 trading cards, a PDF, and art print. And the art print is the cover art for issue 2. Just with not the logo or anything. It's just the art.
And that would be this that we're looking at now, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Oh, and is the art print going to be about the same size as the book?
Yeah, it is.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And that comes to, I believe, 31 with shipping for the deluxe package.
Cool. Yeah. So yeah, guys, if you want some nice was it aliens versus monsters action with with some arm twisting and devouring and all that good stuff going on.
Yeah, there's some good gore too. I like yourself, I'm a big fan of anime and I mean, freaking Ninja Scroll and Akira are 2 of my most favorite movies ever, and so there's definitely some brutal, crazy, extreme violence in there. Where the like for instance, the Dread Fiends, of course, do bring a lot of that, ripping people apart. And in issue 1, 2, there's an interesting part where a character named Zayden, he has a very interesting ability that causes lots of gore. So yeah, all that fun stuff's in there too. Definitely not for the the kids out there, just mature rated.
So I'm guessing he has the ability to make people's insides their outsides.
Similar to that. Similar. Actually, well, I don't know. So you seen Akira, right?
The movie? Yeah. So you mean the transformation at the end?
No, so there's a part where Tetsuo is escaping the facility after they were holding him for testing. And there's all these guards that come up to him, and then he just thinks and makes them explode all over the walls with his ability. So it's very similar to that.
Man, being able to kill someone by thinking about it, it's a good thing the NPCs can't do that, or everybody would be dead. Like literally. Yep. Man, as quickly as they turn on each other, that'll be funny.
That's always fun to watch.
Yeah. Oh, it is, and it's funny when they expect us to have sympathy for him too. It's like, fuck no. If I saw this happening to like 20 people before you, and you were celebrating it and all for it, but now that it's happening to you, it's suddenly a problem. Oh, fuck off, man! You lie in that bed you made. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, so I don't feel sorry for them at all when they end up on the receiving
end. That empire crumbling around them, they just, I should say, falling on them.
Yeah, and the best part, I think, is when at all other times in history, whenever one side was losing, the higher ups, the politicians, sometimes the soldiers that were on the losing side, they tried to just pretend to be civilians, right? Right. What are you talking about? I never raised weapons against you. I was just a farmer. Yeah, but now these guys who have been destroying people's lives for years have been doing it under their real names. And yeah, their real names, their real addresses, their real photos on their social media. They're not going to be able to do that anymore. Like if Zoe Quinn ever tried to pretend that she didn't do nothing, it's not going to work. So this is gonna they got way too overconfident. They legitimately believed that the pendulum was never going to swing back the other way.
Exactly.
So they could be this horrible.
It's a house of cards,
And then when it falls apart, we're not going to have. I mean, I'm not going to do anything to them, but I'm sure as fuck not going to stop anyone else from doing something.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not going to get involved in that.
Yeah, I think it's going to be definitely interesting when all that finally crumbles, and then they're left without a job, and they're just going to be crying and begging to anyone out there to give them something, and no one's going to do it. There's not anyone on our side.
Yeah, exactly. I mentioned that during my 24-hour stream that I'm going to remember everyone who specifically tries to stand in my way, and I'm not going to do anything to them. But if I ever come across them asking me for help later, nope. You go and make your own shit from scratch, and you're already going to have an advantage over what I did because I'm not going to have you standing in my way. So,
Right.
or you're not going to have me standing in your way. Yeah. Yeah, that's all I'm going to give. Indifference is the best they're ever going to get. So that is. Yeah, it's going to be some interesting times, man. Very interesting times.
Sure.
Oh, what's that? Any of you? So chat's asking if anyone has that 1 terabyte plus OnlyFans leak. Are you aware of that?
What is this again?
There's a website that was called OnlyFans that was basically for all these cam whores to pretty much like sell nudes and shit of themselves for extra shekels to their fan bases. Yeah, and that all it all leaked.
Oh wow. That's excellent.
Yeah. So all of these Twitch thoughts now, like their nudes are all over the internet.
Wow.
Man, so it's like the fappening 2.0, except instead of Hollywood celebrities, it's Twitch celebrities, I guess.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I'll got some super chats
people
here
do behind closed doors.
Yeah, well, once you put it on the internet, though, you can't complain. But and John Bob 008, thank you for the 5. Hey, RG, congrats on the success of your campaign. Well, thank you. It has exceeded my already high expectations. How about another 24-hour live stream on its last day? I probably could, but I don't know if I could get another day off. Although maybe I could extend it so it happens on the weekend. Then maybe I could probably get away. We'll see. I mean, I may actually extend it so it ends like Sunday morning or something. We'll see. And the Swiggin one, thank you for the $5. Hey, G, you're at 60,240 on Blade Devil. Now, this is Cypoth's wife. Congratulations to you, your artist. Great memories to come. Well, dude, thank you. I hope you guys really enjoy it because, we got maybe 2/3 of it done. Although that's not counting all the pages and shit we keep adding. So, oh man, this is going to be a good one, man. It's going to be good. But if you want something to hold you over until Blade Devil comes out, you could check out Chaotic Flux volumes 1 and 2 for what'd you say, like $25 with shipping, both of those volumes.
Yeah, right now I'm trying to hit some stretch goals now that we're funded. And so first stretch goal will be at 5,000, and everyone who backs the book on the physical level will get a really nice looking bookmark with artwork featuring artwork from Chaotic Flux there. And then at the 6,000 level, everyone gets that art print right there. Well, of course, without the stretch goal written across the front there, but that art print will be an extra art print for anyone who backs it at the deluxe package level. And then at 9,000, everyone gets an art print that if you back it at the physical level, everyone gets an art print that features all 6 members of the Crimson Flame as a big collage piece. And that'll be the first piece of art that will go out that has both Delaria, Pagan, and Gyarados on it.
Cool. Now, I say maybe you should actually, for 2 or 3 of the art prints, you should just leave the 6,000 stretch goal art print on it, because you know how it goes, how printing errors sometimes make things more valuable.
That would be funny. Yeah, there was actually what that happens with action figures too, where like for instance they package them upside down or what have you, and
or they got like 2 left arms or whatever. Yeah,
I was at the store the other day, and there was this Captain Marvel figure. I'm not a big fan of Captain Marvel, but her figure was packaged in a totally different. It was still a female character, but I can't remember what the character was, but totally different character. The box that she was in, and I was like, I wonder if I should get that just in case it's going to be worth something. I didn't, but sometimes you never know.
Well, wouldn't it be awesome if the packaging said Captain Marvel, but it was actually a good character like Storm?
Right. That would be hilarious.
Yeah, that's right. So, I'll buy that version of Captain Marvel. Yeah, Storm's actually cool. Well, actually, I don't know. I haven't read X-Men for a while. Is Storm still a good character, or do they turn her into like?
They messed up everybody. So they messed up everyone.
And guys, I'm gonna ruin so many childhoods right now. So listen up. This isn't a joke. Wolverine caught the big gay. I'm not kidding, man. Him and Cyclops both. So that's current year Marvel. I
Yeah,
keep saying to know why don't you just make new gay characters?
I don't get that either.
Mm,
Yeah, it makes. I mean, it shouldn't be that hard. I mean, you look at all of us sitting around making up new characters all the time for our books. Really good characters, interesting characters. Why can't they do it? I
yeah.
just don't.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, a Chaotic Flux, it may have been inspired by some things, but it's original. Same thing with Blade Devil. There, you could clearly tell where a lot of the inspiration comes
Mhm.
from, but we made our own stuff.
Yep.
And it's really not hard, but I guess, well, it wouldn't be hard if the industry was actually healthy. I get, because with manga, you could put out a manga about literally anything, and you could find a market that will buy it.
Mhm.
But here in the West, everyone's just, first off, they limited themselves to like one genre for the longest time. And that I think that really crippled them in the long run, because now you got 99% of comic book readers in the West are all about the superhero genre,
Mhm.
and then you destroyed that one genre by they're basically creating villains now and trying to sell them to you as heroes. Like, just
Right.
look at Ignited.
Yep. Reversed heroes. Yep.
Yeah, so everyone who actually likes superheroes is now backing out, and then every time they try to create a new character, was the last successful batch of new characters where it was was Deadpool and Domino and all them, like in the late
Yeah.
90s.
Mhm. Yeah, I
And,
think
and
so.
yeah, and since then, like, nothing has been able to stick, because the
Yeah.
only people still reading comics in the sorry state they're in right now are only in it for these existing characters. So they got to butcher them, and then they'll have nobody.
Sad but true. Yeah, they're what is it? Then they'll make up characters like Camilla Khan and try to squeeze her into everything they can to get you to like her, even though no one really likes her. That new Avengers game that's coming out, I'm pretty excited for it. But then I found out they're gonna force her in there and focus on her, and she's not interesting to me. So now I'm kind of like, I'm not sure if I'll get the game, but from what it looks like, they're still gonna focus on a lot of the other more interesting Avengers. But I don't know. I'm on the fence on that one now. But before that, I was like, yes, I'm gonna get this game. It's gonna be awesome. I don't know.
Well, they always find ways to ruin it. I mean, I've bitched about this for the longest time as well. That it's really rare I get hyped for anything anymore,
Mm.
because
Well, that
every
makes it so
time.
difficult. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, they either ruin it with woke shit, or
Mhm.
or they ruin it with other stuff. Like, oh, if it's a video game, all right, it's now always online, loaded with microtransactions and pay to win. And if they don't fuck any of that up, then it's a Japanese game, and the Westerners like, oh, actually, we ripped out all the good stuff because it's not fit for Western audiences. And so yeah, I don't get hyped for anything anymore.
That's
Uh,
sad. I'm getting that kind of way myself, but I mean, I'm
Ex-
definitely cautious about everything now.
Yeah, well, actually, let me correct that. I don't get hyped for anything within the mainstream industries anymore. I mean, damn, I got to, like, Jawbreakers didn't disappoint.
Mhm.
Cyberfrog didn't
Mhm.
disappoint. Captain Love didn't disappoint. Yeah, I'm perfectly fine backing independent projects, and can't wait to see that. Or even on the video game scene, most of the hentai games I buy don't disappoint.
Right.
But then again, that's because I try before I buy anyway.
Yeah, there's still good ones. I mean, like we were talking about Doom earlier. From what I could tell, it's still going to be, just a better version of the 2016 one. So I'm still pretty hyped for that.
Yeah. Although that id Software has been pretty good, but they're
Mhm.
still under the Bethesda umbrella. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna wait and see. I'll wait until
Yeah.
it's been out for like 3 months. Yeah,
Right.
because previously it used to be you never pre-order, then it came out and say, well, oh, just wait for a demo, wait for reviews and all that, and then they
Yep.
started paying people for reviews, and they
Yep.
but most egregiously, like they did with Call of Duty, is they released it in a pretty good state, waited like 3 months. And now that all the goodwill is out there and all the word of mouth, all the good reviews, now let's put the microtransactions in
Mhm.
here.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah, so now it's like, fuck, I can't buy a AAA game
They
within the first 6 months
they
anymore.
did the same thing with the Crash Bandicoot racing game. Like it launched with no microtransactions, and they slid them in there right afterwards. I was gonna say too, when you're talking about Bethesda, um, I think it's hilarious and sad at the same time. But so I think it was 2018, if I remember right. EA was dubbed the worst company, and Bethesda was dubbed the best or voted the best. And then throughout that was crazy how throughout 2019 Bethesda was just trying really hard to be another EA. All of a sudden, it's like, what are you guys doing? You were voted the best, and now you're just like, fuck it, microtransactions everywhere, and just I don't know, and broken games. How Half-Life 76 came out all jacked up, or not Half-Life, Fallout, and I don't know, it just all the phone games that are coming out now too. It's like, what the heck are you guys doing? Stop it.
Do you not have phones?
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's yeah. But I love that too. Like they're just sitting there. Why are they sitting there looking at EA? Look at their stocks. Their stocks. I can't talk. Stocks drop, and all these bad reviews for the games, and people not buying the games. The game's flopping, and then Bethesda's just like, oh, let's just copy them. They're making money, right? And it's like, what? How do you get to that point? Why do you? I don't know. I mean, I guess it's just obsessed with microtransactions and thinking that's gonna just bring you more money. Period. But
Well, yeah, it's a big because the people who actually love games aren't in charge anymore. It's all the yeah, no,
look at Blizzard. I mean, that's their whole thing was,
yeah.
diehard gamers built that company, and then they all got pushed out, and now it's just a bunch of business guys running it. That
Exactly, man. And that's why I say the golden age of gaming was like the PS2 era, because that's right when it started becoming mainstream. So all these investors started coming in and throwing around millions of dollars. And back then it was still those hardcore gamers who were in charge of these companies, and they were making the same shit they always did. They just had way more money to do it. So we had like the best games ever coming out, or at the very least the highest quantity of good games I've ever seen coming out. But there's no such thing as free money, and they all came with strings attached. And then all the money men started pulling those strings, and yeah. So now you got these people being forced out of the companies they created, and now it's like fucking focus groups that are designing these games, and it shows.
yeah. That's a great way of putting it.
Or did you see that shit for Star Wars? How they were designing the future of Star Wars, and it was that. That wasn't the old
High
Republic. Yeah, the High Republic, and they were designing it via committee. Like, that's how you know it's going to be fucking shit.
Yep.
Because it's not like one or two super creative people who have a lot of passion for this and really want to see it.
Well, you can obviously tell that they're just trying to copy the Marvel formula. They're trying to build this unified universe now. But so first they're going to start out with the books, and then they might do some TV stuff, and then eventually they're going to turn it into a movie series, hoping to recapture that lightning in a bottle that was Infinity War and Endgame. But I don't think it's going to happen. Because I mean, like you said, they're already starting out like on a really bad note, and people. I mean, they're sure people will buy them, but I don't think enough people are going to care about that story, that the way it looks like it's going to go, and I just got too many those injected politics in there that people don't want that in Star Wars. They just want fun stories and fun characters and fun worlds. And
probably more important than that is ever since Disney destroyed the expanded universe, nobody has given a fuck about any of these other ones.
That would be crazy. The expanded universe was so freaking good. One of my favorite novels are books, or was the Darth Bane trilogy.
Not the Crystal Star?
Outstanding. Huh?
Not the Crystal Star?
I don't think I've read that. But no, the Darth Bane trilogy is excellent. And so is the Darth Plagueis novel. That was really good. And the novels that were based on the Old Republic video game, or the extended universe of the Old Republic video game, those were really good. And I just... There was so much, and I know the Legacy series. I didn't read really any of that, but I read a lot about it online. I know a lot about it, and I know that was a good series as well. And they just dropped all that potential And I don't see how, again, just like Bethesda, it's like, what are you thinking? Why would you drop all those excellent stories and throw them in the trash? I don't know. It's just, I mean, I get that they're wanting to. The main reason why they did it is because, for instance, the Legacy series, Chewbacca's not around. Like, I think they killed him in that, and there's some other things that happened that they didn't want to have in the new trilogy. They still wanted Chewbacca around, for instance, and some other stuff. So they wiped all that out to make it happen. I get that,
and that's what made it good, though, was that these characters could die. I mean, even Han and Leia had 3 kids, and by the end of it, 2 of them were dead. So yeah, that's but Disney, I guess they got no problems for. I mean, they have no problems killing off characters. I guess it's just specific ones are immune. I mean, they obviously they had no problem killing off Han Solo. I bet a lot of that.
I know he really wanted out. Yeah, he really wanted out. Yeah, he's pretty much didn't come back unless they were going to kill him off, is what it seemed like. And I've seen recent things where they ask him about Star Wars now, and he flat out says he doesn't give a fuck about Star Wars anymore.
Yeah. Snowman was saying in the expanded universe, Luke was still a badass and had a hot wife who also got killed, by the way. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's I think that was the first time the first blood that Darth Caedus drew, if I remember. Yeah, they were pretty brutal, man. And see, I loved how after they threw out the expanded universe, then Kathleen Kennedy had the balls to try to poke jabs at the MCU. Because obviously they're kind of butthurt that the MCU is outperforming them in every way.
It's like DC versus Marvel.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, well, you guys have it so easy, though. You just have adapt all this source material. We're making brand new stuff. And I'm like, you had all that source material, you fucking idiot.
Yeah, well, she says, I don't have anything to work with now. It's like,
well, of course you don't. You burned
literally thousands of books written over decades of time, video games, all kinds of stuff, comic books. It's like there was some great Dark Horse comics too that came out. It's like, what? And what is it? I was gonna say, I can't remember now, but yeah, I don't know, man. That's what I was gonna say. So the fact that they took I can't. I lost my train of thought. But anyway,
if you can't remember, it must not have been important. That's usually how I see it. Yeah. Oh, but apparently, I was stand corrected. Apparently, he killed like one other like random Jedi chick, like some side character first. That's probably why I didn't remember that.
Oh, I remember what I was gonna say. Yeah. So, one of the things that really bugs me, like I said, I'm a big fan of the Darth Bane trilogy. I'm a big fan of like Sith stories, period. And well, the good ones anyway. And that's something that really bugs the crap out of me with this new with Disney Star Wars, is how they seem to be, other than like Kylo, which the story was all jacked up, but they seem to refuse to dive into that world of the Sith and their lore and their all these. I think because there's so many great, really cool things about them as far as their backstories and the legends of them, and how they came to be, and all the different abilities that they have, and that their twisting of nature and rule and law against the laws of nature and all these things. There's some really great potential storytelling there, but they keep going around that. Like, for instance, this High Republic they're not focusing on the Sith, as far as I could tell from that trailer. They're focusing on what they call like kind of space Vikings. And it's like, yeah, that's kind of interesting. But to me, if you have a story that's going to focus on the Jedi, you have potential to tell also a really good Sith storyline as well. But whatever.
Yeah, and what really annoys me is they paid over $4 billion for the franchise, and the franchise isn't worth that much because the franchise itself is something special. I mean, it is, but that's only because of the fan base. They paid 4.5 billion or whatever it was for the fan base, basically the built-in fans that I mean,
I
if
remember you
George
talked about
Lucas,
that video that you did the other day. I watched that when you were going over the script, the great script that they had, and they scrapped it.
yeah, and they,
Yeah.
but you see, if they were going to do, if Disney was going to do what they did with Star Wars, they should have just made their own sci-fi, like or science fantasy. I think Star Wars counts more as science fantasy to me. But they like, if they wanted to do fucking dinosaurs and space Vikings, they could have fucking done that. Just not put the Star Wars logo on it. But they honestly believed that like they could take a shit and stamp the Star Wars logo on it, and these dumb idiot fans are going to eat it up. And then they find out, oh, actually, we're the fucking idiots. The fans aren't that stupid. We just spent 4.5 billion to kill this golden goose and cook it. And
like you said in your video, it prints its own money, but they don't know how to make that happen. So.
Yeah, no, it was a license to print money, but they just said, you know what? Fuck you. I'm just going to destroy that. I don't like that it's not printing the kind of money I like. And Imagination, thank you for the $2 there. Why make new characters when you can take someone people like and shit all over them? That's exactly what they did. I mean, these guys. So I think this is all projection, by the way, because the type of people that do this are so stupid and easy to brainwash that you probably could program them to believe literally anything. And they assume all the rest of us are like that too. So if we take this thing everybody likes and turn it into shit, they're fucking idiots. So they're going to like it anyway because it has the same brand. And then we can teach them, we can fucking indoctrinate them into whatever we want. And then they found out, wait, really? They're not? What? The fans aren't fucking idiots that are just throwing us their money for no reason. What? Yeah. And it's not that hard. I mean, all you got to do is just make shit people actually like or want. Well, after your first book, it has to be something they like too. But yeah, they don't care. You want this? Fuck you. You're gonna take what I give you and you're gonna like it.
Right. Yeah, it's kind of you just use it as a compass. It's like you were kind of getting at there, where you focus on what's already there, and either build off of that or use that as inspiration to make something along the lines, but new characters and everything, and you just follow this compass. This kind of guide that will guide you to the money, but you have to do it right, or else it's just, I don't know. It basically shouldn't be that hard. You just follow the compass towards the fans, give them what they're asking for, but also, give them some surprises. There's a lot of things in the fan base that stories that people have been begging for decades. Just all you gotta do is make that stuff, and just make it happen, but.
Yeah, and even in gaming now, remember when the AAA industry completely stopped making space sims? And then we got and then Star Citizen and Elite Dangerous and all these other games came out. So, oh wow! And now the same shit's happening with RPGs because the AAA seems to be moving away from at least like the Baldur's Gate, the old school style RPGs, and now all these indies are coming out. It's like, well, fine, we're going to make them, and they're selling millions of units.
Right.
Yeah, because that's all. Yeah, all you got to do is you got to listen to the fans, and these guys. The problem is they. First and foremost, I think they're like entitled artists, I believe. It's like, I should be able to make anything, and then you just take it as it is. I mean, this is my artistic vision after all. And I'm like, that's fair. You literally can create whatever you want, but if you expect other people to fund your creation, you need to be making something they want. I mean, again, if you want to lock yourself in your studio and just make art for yourself for the rest of your life, no one's going to stop you. Right. But if you want it to sell, you can't force someone to pay you money for something they don't want. I mean, unless you're the government. But yeah. But these guys aren't the government, so they can't get away with it.
Well, I mean, both of our projects, we built them on. Was it fan bases basically for these types of genres that they're inspired by. I know these are things. Also, I'm a big fan of all this stuff myself. I'm a big fan of X-Men and Game of Thrones pretty well, and
How'd you like season 8?
Resident Evil is okay. It had good potential, and then it kind of. But all these things. I'm a big fan. That's why I made this book. A big fan of like a lot of anime, like Gundam and Transformers and Akira and Ghost of Shell. So the influences are all going in this book. You obviously have, you're a big fan of a lot of different types of RPGs and video games and anime and manga, so that you pumped all in your storyline, and people like that stuff. So you create this storyline and these characters in this world that will get people to gravitate towards it. And like you said, it's not that hard. We're doing it. They can do it, but they're not. So it just blows my mind.
Yeah, but I don't know. They really do seem to think they're above us. No, you just don't understand why the stuff we're telling you to buy is so much better than the stuff you actually want, and we're gonna keep shoving it in your face until you like it, and then they go broke, and when we're all pointing and laughing at them, then they're just like, but it was for your own good.
Take your medicine.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Shut up and take your medicine.
Yeah, and then we could tell them the same things. No, this is for our own good. Now just go be homeless somewhere else. Get out of my yard. Yeah. Man. This. Yeah, I am so glad that that indies are making so much money right now.
Too, man.
Yeah, because even
beautiful
actually, what's how much did the first Chaotic Flux make?
It made, what was it, 4,500?
All right, so this one is at least on track to make about as much, if not more. So no, that's good though. That means, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of like giant campaigns that blow things out of proportion. But I remember when the average amount a crowdfunded comic made, or the amount, if you were a smashing success, you made like 6,000,
right?
And then God forbid if you make 10,000, everyone was calling you up saying, "Hey, can you tell me how you did that?"
Right.
Yeah, and
now the average is what, or not average, but the high hitters is up in the 100,000 and.
Yeah, because previously when the big companies were actually putting out stuff people liked, why the fuck would you spend sometimes like $25-30 for a 48-ish page book when you could just get the 22 pagers from Marvel and DC for $3-4 a piece? Like, who'd be dumb enough to do that? And back when Marvel and DC and Image and them were putting out good stuff, that's a legitimate question. Like, why the fuck will we pay so much more money for less content, and if it's roughly the same level of quality? But now you see the garbage that is coming out of the mainstream. People are realizing, maybe if we pay these indies, a little bit more, then we're actually going to get. Like, say, if we replace the mainstream industry, we could get our own distribution networks, and if we got the numbers, we could reduce the prices. And
right.
And so even you, like Chaotic Flux, 28 pages, and you could get that for $10. That's already well within the range of what Marvel and DC is doing as well.
Right. So. Well, now they're starting to pump out these $8 books, and
or what Marvel did, put together their fucking advertisements and charge you $10 for it.
Yeah, they're starting to do that now. So it's interesting how everything's kind of going in reverse. Our books are staying around the $10-15 range, whereas theirs keep going up, and just about the same amount of pages as we're putting in our books. And
and I think what this is ultimately is as their sales go down, then they no longer have that economies of scale to counterbalance all the bloat these companies have. Like, say I'm just looking at Chaotic Flux right now. You and 2 other guys. That's pretty much all the people getting a share of this money, right? Yeah, so 3 people for this comic. Meanwhile, how many hundreds of people do you think the issues of like X-Men have to pay?
Oh yeah, Yeah. Well, especially like the cover artists now, a lot of these guys are getting paid hundreds of dollars to do covers. That's just the cover. That's not even interior work, and it's just like I recently heard that what's his name? Scott Campbell. I think it's his name. The guy that likes to
J.
draw.
Scott Campbell.
Yeah. That he's making somewhere around 20,000 for a cover, I heard. I don't know if that's true, but
I believe it. I believe it because I mean it's all about supply and demand, right? I mean, if he was even if he drew the same level he does now, if he was some fucking nobody, he may be like, oh, I'll do your cover for $100 because he just wants any work to get his name out there. But since he is in such high demand, I mean, if you he could say, "Oh, I'll do that cover for 20,000," and you just say, "Hell no!" Now let's negotiate this, and he just says, "Fuck you! I got 7 people waiting behind you to actually give me 20,000 for this cover." Yeah, so that's he can get away with it because he is in such high demand. He doesn't have to negotiate. Like take it or leave it. You don't want to give me the 20,000? Fine, the guy behind you will. So. Yeah, and that's and God, maybe we're going to be in that position with Comicsgate soon enough. That's my biggest fear right there is having to is eventually like all of these. It was like Rob Willis who came out of with Samurai Sasquatch with Cal. I'm willing to bet that there's probably going to be some huge bidding war if he ever wants to, do work for hire. Because you see that once these artists get big enough, they all just do their own stuff,
right?
Which is, I mean, like Ethan, your boy Zach. Well, he's not an artist, but John Malin. John Malin's not doing books for other people. He's busy doing his own damn books. He's not. He's not going to do any work for hire. I mean, I guess maybe if someone offered him like 10,000 a page, he might do it, but it would have to be pretty ridiculous. And but the artists that are still willing to do work for hire and they're really, really fucking good, man, those guys, if you work with a guy like that and you want to keep them around for an entire series, not just the one book, you better be willing to jack up how much you pay them every issue because other people are going to see his awesome work and try to poach him from you. Yeah, and then after 2 or 3 pay raises like that, everyone in the industry knows his name. Now that's when he's like, all right, now I'm making my own project instead of some writer hiring me and just giving me some flat rate and pocketing all the profits. I'm gonna hire a writer for a flat rate. Yeah, yeah, and I don't blame him. I mean, I'd probably do the same thing. Right. Why sell yourself short? If again, the J. Scott Campbell, if he really is charging 20,000 to cover, why wouldn't he? He's clearly getting people paying him that much for it.
Right. It's just wild that where you can get paid $20,000 to a cover. It's amazing.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Kyle Ritter, exactly.
Yeah, Kyle's an amazing artist.
Yeah. Oh, he is, man.
And didn't he just kind of surprise everybody too? He just came out, he just came out of the blue with his Star Blades. Is like, oh, look what I made. And I was like, holy crap, this is awesome.
Yeah.
Talented. That's amazing. I mean, I knew he was a great colorist, obviously from Cyberfrog, but I didn't know he's also a great illustrator.
Yeah, no, I DM'd him on Twitter too when he put out Starblades, and I was looking through the page like, who the fuck did he get to draw this? And he was the only one in the credits. Yep. So I actually, amazing. Yeah, so I DM'd him. It's like, hey, did you seriously do everything? And he's like, yeah. So then I had to ask, like, all right. So how long does it take you to make this? And he's like, the more difficult pages take me like a day and a half. What? From start to finish, you fucking. So at that level of quality, he can crank him out at that speed too.
Some artists can do that, man. Yeah, and as far as I know, he hasn't worked in the industry, right? He's.
Well, no, I think he did. I mean, I saw his DeviantArt page, and I saw he had some portfolio pieces that at least were, I think, DC characters. I think he might have had some. He wasn't a big name, but I think correct me if I'm wrong, but he might have done some work in the industry. But he's still, I mean, he's pretty young. I think he's not even 30 yet. Was he late 20s or something?
I'm not sure.
So
I was going to say that
he's a rising star.
Yeah. I was gonna say for someone to pump pages out that well, usually it's someone had been in the industry and worked in the industry for a while. But for someone who maybe done some in the industry but very little or none at all, then and do a page and a complex page in like a day and a half, that's really 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 damn good. A lot of times, like to get like let's say like Jim Lee's level, I think a lot of people it takes you a few years to get to that point where you're able to get on industry deadlines.
Yeah, that's right, man. And then I mean, like say Ethan, for example, he's a very damn good artist. But I think even when he worked in the industry, he was always recognized as being one of the slower ones. Like he couldn't be on a monthly book. Yeah, he had to tell him that you know how long it takes me to do this. I mean, he is very high quality, but you had to wait.
Yeah,
and then
there's quite a few that are like that. I think Joe Madureira, if I remember right, because he, like I said, I'm a fan of Battle Chasers, but that series didn't go so far, get that far, because it took so long for him to draw all the pages and get them in time for the deadlines. And if I remember right, that comic went on hiatus for a while, and he came back to it and started doing it again, and then it went away again. So he just couldn't keep up with drawing all that stuff all the time, getting the pages out and what have you. So then he turned to now he just designs video games. Is what it seems like.
Which if it works out better for him, then hey, more power to him.
Definitely.
But yeah, another alternative would be just release these comics on a when it's ready schedule, and people are willing to wait if it's high quality, as long as it's not too long, I guess. I mean, every time Berserk takes a couple year hiatus, at least in between the compiled volumes, it's a little bit old. But Imagination, thank you for the $2 there. EFAP just covered a retard shill who was paid to say the sequels are more well received than the prequels. Wow. Yeah, no, you have to be paid off to say that. And the ruse of Soywoker compliments The Last Jedi. 1, citation needed. 2, The Last Jedi fans disagree. Oh, God. Yeah, it's so obvious when someone was paid. I mean, all the YouTubers that were shilling for Stadia before it launched. And then I guess after their contract with Google that they got paid for expired, they all just took down their videos or changed the names and to not be like, positive about it. Yeah, it's obvious they were fucking paid. And speaking of which, you know this mobile game called Raid Shadow Legends? I'm sure you've never heard of it before if you've been on YouTube. It's pretty uncommon, but
Nope.
Okay. Yep. Exactly. No one's heard of it. It's not like every YouTuber hasn't been paid to shill it, but but no, I think some people were getting paid like $7,000 to shill that
serious?
game.
Wow.
Yeah, and then It's a Gundam did a video about that, and then he finally got the email, and they wanted to pay him like $250 to shill it.
Wow.
Yeah. So he was. Yeah, he did an entire video just on that. Like, with this motherfucker with like less subs than me gets 7,000, I get 250, and I'm quite sure the company only did that as a troll to him because they know because he's been ripping on them for a while. So they're like, man, 250 for you. That's all you're worth to us. Oh, God,
that's hilarious.
Oh yeah, I should steal that shit. Well, they may have contacted me. So yeah. Fun fact: I very rarely check that email. Yeah, the only time I check that email is when I have some massive issue. Yeah, because honestly, there is all these YouTube channels get quote unquote hacked all the time, right? Yeah, and then they get turned into some like cryptocurrency shilling shit. You know how these so-called hacks happen?
No, through the emails, right? Through the
Yeah, exactly. They send you a link with some like shady shit you have to click on, and they say, "Oh, we're going to give you $7,000 to shill our software. Here, try it out," and then they run your fucking YouTube channel.
Wow.
Yeah, and so I ignore all that shit. Like I don't take unsolicited solicitations. Funny, from that because and plus I don't want to turn my channel into one of those where. Because remember how ads can be skipped now. There's ad blockers, so everybody now just inserts it into their video. They do like 2 minutes of their video, and then before we continue, let me talk to you about today's sponsor, the Ridge Wallet, and the 4-minute segment on that, and then back to the video, and then a little bit later, hey, have you heard of Raid Shadow Legends? And it just inserting the ads right into the videos, and I'm like, if I'm gonna do that, it's gonna be for my own shit. Damn it!
Right.
Like, buy Blade Devil, buy my book, buy my book. Oh yeah, now they're doing 50,000 silver if you sign up with this referral link. Yeah, no, join my clan.
Wow.
Oh,
Talk about desperate.
Yeah, and then of course, if you join the clans for these e-celebs, they're never actually playing the game, because I mean they got paid to shill the game, not play it.
Right.
Man, that's just okay. If that's how they want to roll, that's how they want to roll. That's what's going to happen.
Is it just me, or does that just happening more often? You get these. Like I've heard recently too. I think it was a few months ago where they said that Disney, of course we were talking about Star Wars earlier, but they actually pay a lot of people for a lot of their movies to get good reviews, and like they put them up in nice hotels and all this stuff. I don't know if it's true, but I saw a thing on that a while back.
Yeah, well, I think they do that for some of the gameplay streamers. Like, say if you're a ninja and you have hundreds of thousands of people watching you, yeah, you're their biggest salesman, and yeah, so they're gonna treat you well, or PewDiePie.
Right.
Now, PewDiePie, I know of someone who did actually pay PewDiePie to play his game. And yes, PewDiePie, if you get in contact with him, you could negotiate that. I mean, if you pay him enough, he'll play your game. But let's just say if you think J. Scott Campbell charges a lot, you're in for a shock. But it paid off, though. I mean, he got way more money back than he spent. So.
Right. Yeah. I was gonna say that's one thing though, where you're getting someone to play the game versus give it a good review. Just if we give you the money.
Yeah, I know, and it's a lot more trustworthy if you pay them to play the game, because then it's a lot harder to cover up all the faults. Now one exception is with shit like loot boxes, because that they did. Somebody did an investigation on that and discovered that, in fact, all of these influencers, as they're called, did get preferable, much boosted rates on their loot boxes compared to everybody else. So they're like, oh, yeah, let's roll for this 1 in a million chance character. Oh, I got it on my fifth try. Woo! Hype.
Yep. Wow.
Yeah. Oh, it's so stretch goal for a Blade, though. PewDiePie reads it while doing all the voices as accurately as possible. Oh, man, we don't have enough money for that. Well, plus he plays games, but I'm actually thinking though that's one of the things was the dude that did a Six Gun Gorilla. Like, he kind of had the same idea. He was just sending out copies to people who have their PO boxes public. Yeah, he was just sending them out to everybody. Nice. And Ethan even went over one of them on one of his unboxing streams where he opens his fan mail. And I was thinking, that may be a good idea. When maybe you could try that with. Yeah.
Well, I did send out the the PDF of issue 1 out to some people to get some good early feedback. I also sent it out to some websites, some comic book websites, to get it reviewed. And which I did. All of the reviews that come back for it, actually for issue 1, were very positive. I actually have yet to get any negative reviews in the book from people who bought it in the first campaign, as well as people who bought it at conventions I've sold it at, and they've come back after they read it, the next day, and so they loved it, which of course makes me feel amazing. And but with issue 2, since so for issue 1, I completed it first and then did the campaign, and submitted it to reviewers and such. But since issue 2 is not done yet, I can't really do that this time around. So,
well, you could also do what Drew does. I mean, I think he had a a couple hundred books, because he had them done when he launched his Captain Love campaign.
Mhm.
And he had them all printed, and those that didn't sell, he apparently was able to get rid of almost all of them by he went out in person to conventions. And oh man, let's see if I could pull it up. He even got one of those life-size cardboard cutouts and everything for his convention table and shit.
Nice.
Yeah, and I actually looked into that. I looked into those and how much it would cost, and I thought, maybe this is something I should do for Blade Devil, and that, especially.
I mean, it's been worth it for me. I've sold. It's been very good for me, good for the book. I've sold. So like for instance, the first campaign, I sold. I think it was around 200 copies, and then now that I've done conventions, I've sold about another 300 copies. So it's worked out pretty well. I made a lot of great fans, right? A lot of new fans, a lot of great fans at these conventions, and it's really neat just being out there and meeting people and interacting with them, and sharing your passion with them, and getting your passion to be now their passion, and then giving you that feedback. But also just there's a lot of great networking that can go on in conventions. I've met a lot of great people. At various booths in the conventions I've been at, and as well as celebrities, and it's just a ton of fun. One of my fondest memories of doing convention was meeting Jim Sellecrap, who is actually, or he was an editor for Marvel during the 80s and 90s, and he's actually known for giving Todd McFarlane his start drawing Spider-Man at Marvel. And he bought my book, read it, said he really enjoyed it. So I got a Marvel, editor seal of approval. So it's pretty awesome. But really, really nice guy, really cool guy. He shared a lot of great stories with us in the industry. He actually also has written some Captain America books and some other Marvel stories as well.
Yeah, you see, there's the proof. There's the cutout. So. So yeah, I mean, if you, no, you could get. Actually, no, forget that. Everyone would expect you to do like what Drew did here, and like, see, he has his title character. Yeah, it looks like again from what he said, he's been doing very well doing the convention rounds like this, and actually, yeah, this time he's set up here. Was that by a coffee shop?
Yeah, Drew's a really cool guy. I've been on the show.
Yeah, he is, man. He knows what he's doing, man. He's selling his books, and so what you could do, since he's already done the whole title character thing. I mean, you could just you could make a life-size one of these fuckers right here and have that.
Yeah, there you go. Go big or go home, right?
Oh, maybe it could be one of those where you got the it could be this very panel here, and then where her head is, you just have that hole, so the kids can walk up and put their head.
Be the monster.
Well, either the monster or the character getting torn to shreds.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
You're just full of ideas.
Yeah, but then I'd probably look, how much would it cost to get one made that big? Like, woo, okay.
Yeah. Or how much it costs to get a regular size one?
Oh, regular sized ones are within between $100 to $200. I saw.
Oh, really?
Wow. Yeah. I mean, it is $100 to $200, but it's a lot cheaper than I expected it to be. Yeah, especially for customs.
Yeah,
but then it really is just a giant print on a piece of cardboard, really.
Right.
So
right, big high res print.
Yeah.
I've gotten banners made. Like the one behind me is one I use at my conventions, and there's a smaller one I have too that I put up as well at the conventions. But it definitely helps. Like if you're going to do a convention, definitely at least do a pretty good sized banner with your characters on it, and there's give people an idea of the artwork for sure and the storyline if you can. And another thing I like to do is like for instance with the issue 2 before it's not out yet. So my last conventions I had made some art printed out of the issue that I had on my table to give people a preview, early preview of the artwork that's coming for that issue. So it worked out pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, shit. No, are you going to be at that For the Fans Fest next year in May? Yeah,
Oh,
that's
you
the
talking about Florida, right?
yeah.
Yeah. I'm definitely looking at that. Yeah. I'm still not exactly sure what I'm doing for because it's yeah, we're in 2020. Yeah, I'm still not exactly sure what I'm doing in 2021. But it is definitely on my list. I'm probably gonna go most likely. I was actually looking at doing a convention in Florida in 2021, and I might as well make it this one.
Yeah, fuck yeah. At least you'll be surrounded by people who appreciate you and don't view
Yeah.
you as some
And
problematic
it's gonna be awesome
toxic.
too, just like meeting everyone. Just that's something I'm really looking forward to. Seeing all these people in the community in person, and making new friendships and more networking and all this awesome stuff. And
Yeah, that's what's gonna suck for me though. Everyone's gonna meet me and like, wow, he really is a piece of shit. I'm never backing his stuff again. Man. Oh yeah, that's the people were saying, oh, I need a life-size Ashihara. Yeah, that is a thing. Yeah, we're gonna have to do that. That's gonna be on the list. Or sometime before that convention, I'll have to have some of the Blade Devil characters made, like Ashihara, Yuna, Beryl Shoda, another character that hasn't been revealed yet, but will be soon. Yeah, it's why the hell not? We're just gonna have to make sure we have enough room to stand them all up.
right, you have to have an extra booth just for all the stand-ups.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Ethan did say, it's like, oh no, the table space is pretty much first come, first serve. You don't have to pay for it. You just go there, drop your shit off, and claim a spot.
Wow, nice.
Yeah, so I wonder if anyone's going to actually try that. Are they going to try to take more space than they need by just like throwing their shit all over the entire table? Like, nope, this is my booth, my table.
From what I've seen, and then also from stories I've heard at conventions, that does happen where people they'll set all their stuff up and they've got so much crap that they kind of bleed over into the other spaces. And of course you get people that get upset. I paid for my space, I should get all my space, don't come over on my area. But luckily so far I haven't seen anyone like bust out in fights or anything, but I have seen some people get fairly upset that and they just ask nicely, can you not come over on my side? And but a couple of conventions we've been pretty lucky at were one of the ones that did, so they put us in a spot where there's a pillar next to us and it was blocking a view a lot in the aisle, but they were cool enough and they actually gave us that table next to us since the pillar was there, so we just utilized it and spread out more, so that was cool. And there was one that we did, the last one I did, the table they never showed up, whoever was supposed to be at that table, so then the one next to them on the other side and us, we shared that table, so we split it down the middle and used that as extra for us, so that was nice.
Awesome. Yeah, I guess if no one else is there, that's one thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you're putting all your shit into someone else's space, yeah, that's bad. But I don't know. Hopefully no drama happens at that convention. But you never. Some people are probably going to show up there just to cause drama. I'd be willing to bet money on that, which is why I said I'm going to keep saying this until they actually do it. But what we desperately need at that convention is to get all the paperwork done, whatever you need to be like an official state sanctioned fighting arena or something, and just have a boxing ring in the middle of that giant ballroom where everyone who has beef with each other can just put their fucking gloves on and get in the ring and work it out.
Get over with, right? Yep.
Yeah, exactly. So everyone who just has drama with each other, shut the fuck up, put those gloves on, and work it out. Step in the ring, solve their issues. Obviously, nobody's actually going to get hurt. I mean, this isn't like a street fight. Like you stop once the other guy goes down, and problem solved. Yeah. But something tells me they're not going to do that.
No.
So, yeah, and plus, I understand. Even after that rant, I have to say I understand why they don't do it, because I mean, if you're having an officially sanctioned fight, everyone involved has to be tested. You can't just like impromptu walk into a ring, because they have to test if you got AIDS or other bloodborne diseases that would stop you from, because it's not just from because your opponent, but everyone, the referee, everyone who's cleaning up the ring. You could infect so many people. So yeah, that's I know it's impossible,
logistics.
but that would be awesome to do that. Like, yeah, just have a fucking boxing ring, and just anytime someone has beef, just could you imagine that just throughout the event they just come on the intercom, hey, Ethan and Doug are in the ring in 5 minutes, come down and see it.
Oh man.
Yeah, that would be so hilarious. But we can't have nice things though. Oh well. Oh, that's another thing. Is like, yeah, or if someone collapses and dies in the ring, who's responsible? But yeah, that's part of becoming an officially like state sanctioned, like fighting club or whatever. Is yeah, you or it's no, that's not even that. No, it's you yourself. Because I mean, I used to do boxing, and you have to sign a waiver saying, if you get fucked up in this fight, it's all on you. We're not going to be responsible. Oh yeah, Cecil versus Preston Poulter. I would pay to see that, dude. Man, Cecil could sit on him and just end him, man. Like that wouldn't be much of a fight, but I'd still pay to see it though. Ah man, God, especially if you get him drunk first, that would be a funny one. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, Tyler Preston's here. Got the first issue of Chaotic Flux. Did anyone notice that Zathara kind of reminds you of Miss Martian from Young Justice? Was that intentional?
No, I'm not really familiar with the character, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Okay. Now, see, so what just happened here? We get that all the time. How people say, "Oh, Ashara reminds me of this character," and I have to look her up. It's like, who?
Yeah,
Well, I could see the resemblance now, but okay.
Yeah, I didn't really get into Young Justice.
Yeah. Anna could kick Preston Poulter's ass. Yeah, probably. I don't know if she does some pretty good paintings though. I don't know if she'd want to risk her hands. That's another thing. Like you don't want these. Yeah, so I guess Ethan and Doug would definitely not want to do that. And for them, we'd have special shoes, I guess, and they'd do like the kicking version of boxing where it's feet only.
Right.
Yeah, like how the chefs, the chefs operated in One Piece, right? Like, they fought only using their legs because they used their hands for cooking and they didn't want to fuck them up. So, fuck, man, that would be awesome. Man, that would, but we can't do that. We can't have nice things in this country anymore. It's it's allegedly the land of the free, but it's such a nanny state and so micromanaged in a lot of ways that. Are we really? Are we really free, or are we just being kept comfortable as our rights are stripped away one at a time? And by the time we notice, it's too late. Yeah.
Yep.
Ah, well.
Yeah, they're just sidelining us, blinding us, and like squirrel, look over there, and then take it all away. Although they're not doing a great job at the same time either by messing up all entertainment. So
yeah, no, they give us this entertainment to keep us occupied. So while they ruin everything, and then they take away that entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, yeah. Or even better is when the side that takes away your entertainment, they're like, oh, you need to take the blinders off. You need to open your eyes and see what's going on in this world. Oh, all these sheep are just being distracted by their entertainment. We're going to take that away from them. And then that'll make them see everything and they'll join us in our fight. And they're partially correct because you take away my bread and circuses, I will look out and see the first problem I need to fix in this society is the person who had the power and ability to take away my fucking entertainment. That's the person that needs to go. So they just create foot soldiers for their enemies right there. But hey, if that's what they want to do, I am not going to stop them.
Let them eat themselves alive, right?
Yeah, exactly, man. Yeah, that's
kind of what I'm waiting on now.
Yeah, I love seeing that. I really do. And again, when the NPCs start eating their own and they start canceling each other.
Yeah, or causing all their the empire to collapse by putting out all this bad content and people aren't buying it and movies flopping left and right.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know how much money it's going to take for them to finally go, okay, we're obviously going about this the wrong way. Let's stop. But so far that hasn't happened. So I don't know. How much does it cost for them to finally change things around?
I don't know. I mean, the theory is they don't even care about making money because if you got a billionaire funding you, I mean, if you no, your boy Zach, did you see that video he did? I think it was what if the comic book industry is already dead?
No, I haven't seen that one.
Oh, dude, you need to watch that because he goes into the numbers and it's all of these companies have been losing money for a long time, but they still are somehow able to find investors to keep them afloat. So it looks like what the Western comic book industry is basically just the pet project of some rich people that are just keeping them around just because maybe they like what they're doing. So they don't care about making money as long as they have their investor that keeps giving it to them. And I could understand that actually, because I mean, if I was a fucking billionaire, I'd be doing the same shit. I'd be finding people who make what I like, you know, especially if it's not profitable, and I'd pay for them to keep going. That I want to see this continue, so I'll keep giving you money.
It's crazy.
So, yeah, that's how they're being kept afloat. So I believe that. I really do.
So I guess the billionaires to them, it's like they're just throwing change out.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, man. So I remember I was watching this this documentary or something, and they were actually going over the world's most expensive hotel, and I think one night was like $30,000.
Wow.
And I when I first saw that, I was like, "Are you fucking crazy? I could buy like 2 cars for that, and I'm going to spend that on one night." And
was there like holograms in the hotel and like robots that rub you down? I mean, how is that $30,000?
Well, it was all just shit that rich people care about. Yeah, I mean, it was a giant like fucking penthouse, and they had everything was gold plated in there, and you had round the clock service, people waiting on you hand and foot. Yeah, it was nice, but then I put things into perspective though, and I thought, wait a minute, if I was a billionaire and I made $30,000 like every 5 minutes, I'd be up for that. It's like, sure, why not? I mean, it literally would be like me paying a quarter to sleep at a hotel now.
Right.
I mean, yeah, there's like, okay, now it makes more sense. I mean, it wouldn't be that big of a deal for me. And then I realized that's what keeps the economy going in the first world is you got entire economies that sprout up, not around giving plebs like us what they want, but by appealing to the super rich, who are willing to drop $30,000 to spend one night at a fucking hotel. Yeah, that's an entirely different economy, but you can do that, man.
Crazy.
Shit. Yeah, and that's something a lot of people don't consider though. But that's fine with me. Hashtag not my problem.
Especially when you're a billionaire.
Yeah, I mean, shit. If I was, the only thing I'd be worried about is some fucking like French Revolution reenactment happening. But they don't even have to worry about that now, especially with technology getting better. It's like, oh yeah, I know you may outnumber me like 1,000,000 to 1, but I got an army of ED 209s. What are you going to do now? Yeah, that may change. Now that's going to be interesting for other reasons, because what happens if they start trying to take over? Well, yeah, you're just effed in the A. Oh, actually,
revolt.
Oh man, so we're apparently one backer away from 850, and you are one backer away now from 129. Yeah. Oh, man, for 130. Somebody bought an expensive tier. Yeah, I think somebody got the all-out chaos.
Thank you very much. That's awesome.
Nice. Oh, actually, no. Okay, I forgot to do this on my own campaign when I was shilling this. So let's actually go through the tiers. So
okay.
This is apparently the one that's sold. All Out Chaos. I mean, I got it on screen, but could you explain what all this is?
So All Out Chaos is everything that you can get in the campaign. Besides, there's a couple of sketch cards, which we didn't talk about earlier. But in this package here, you get the PDF, you get the signed book, you also get the metallic cover edition signed. which is also something we didn't talk about earlier. But there is a metallic cover edition you can get in this campaign. I did a metallic cover for the first campaign, and it turned out really well. The book itself turned out fantastic. It sold really well as well. It was really popular, so I decided to do it again for this one. That, and I'm a big fan of metallic covers. You also get a metallic art print as well as a non-metallic art print. The metallic art print is going to be different art print than the non-metallic. I'm still deciding what the art's going to be on that because I'm still getting art in from my artists. But then also you can get in this package the 2 sets of trading cards. You get the metallic versions of the trading cards as well as the non-metallic. And these trading cards are done in the style of like the 90s style Marvel cards, where, for instance, you had artwork on the front, and then on the back you would have a little bio of the character as well as some little facts about them and their stats. So done in that that fun style that the 90s cards were. I'm a big fan of that as well, so that's why I chose to do these cards. There's eventually going to be a series of cards. Every campaign is going to have 2 up for grabs. And like I said, eventually there'll be a whole series once all the issues of Chaotic Flux are done. And you also get a T-shirt in this package, and it's the cover art is going to be on the T-shirt from issue 2. And if you go, there's the shirt there. That's a little rough example that I paste together from Teespring, but that's basically what's going to look like. And if you scroll down a little more, these are sketch cards that I didn't mention earlier, but this really awesome guy in the community, a lot of people may know by Simon Simporther, and he did these awesome sketch cards for me for the campaign to help out. And the middle one there you can see is sold, but the 2 outer ones are still available, and they're $25 each, which is actually a really good deal if you want an original piece of artwork by a really talented artist. And they are one of a kind, so once each one is sold, they're gone forever.
Sweet.
Mm-hmm.
And that's okay. So we actually covered 2 of the other tiers right there by default too. Okay. Oh, and the trading cards that are in the All Out Chaos, those were the 2 that were.
Well, those are actually
the bottom,
ones at the bottom. Those are the ones that were in the first campaign. I still haven't put together the artwork yet for the ones for this campaign, but I went ahead and throw those up as examples of what you're gonna get. Of course, it's gonna be 2 different characters than what you see here, but that's basically what the cards are gonna be like, with the stats and the bio and everything on there.
Cool. Okay, back up to the top. So I think somebody got that one because it did jump up quite a bit. So that is cool. And then the collector's package. So what's not in here that was in the All Out Chaos?
Just the T-shirt. So you get everything but the T-shirt in that one.
Okay, so PDF of the book, and you could add book 1 as an add-on perk on checkout.
Yeah, for those who are joining us now or didn't get to hear that earlier, you can add issue 1 on as an add-on at checkout. And I have the option to get both the signed copy and an unsigned copy, or the PDF of issue 1.
Or both, I guess, or all of the above, right? I mean, there's no limit. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you could get all of that. That is,
you can even add on if you wanted to, for instance, have yourself a pristine version of issue 2. You can in the add-on, you can also add on an extra copy of issue 2. If you want to, be able to read it and have the other one, put away as a collector's item.
Yeah,
totally that's an option.
Yeah, that's what I did with Cyberfrog. Actually, I got
very smart.
Yeah, well, I wish I would have gotten multiple copies of some. I technically could have still got another multiple copies of the same covers, but originally I just got the first cover where it's just Cyberfrog on it, and then I thought, then he released the others, because I'm one of those people that usually I just get one,
right?
But then when he actually got the Salamandroid Chromium variant in and he was showing it on camera, I was like, motherfucker, that one is just so cool. I wish I got that one.
Yeah, I did too. 'Cause I missed the first print. I got the one with the cover of
The
Cyber
two.
Frog and Cyber the Mandroid doing the fist bump.
Mhm.
But then, like you said, he didn't show the Chromium one. I'm like, I wish I waited for that one.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. Yeah. See, exactly. But then luckily he had like 800 of those left. I think the Salamandroid chromiums, and I snapped one of those up. I was like, motherfucker, I'm getting that. And then so I already got the regular one in, and I'd read it. And then when the Salamandroid one came in, I left it in the packing. I'm like, no, I'm leaving it in. This is my collector's one, and that I think is the rarest one. I think he only made like 2,000 of them or something.
Wow.
And because most people got the first printing. So yeah, that was oh, that's right. See, smart to put it in 2 campaigns too. Yeah, I mean, I think Ethan says that a lot of these guys say it too. Yeah, maybe like have like 1 or 2 variants, maybe 3, but don't do like what some people do. Like, although it worked well for Kyle, he had like 10 variants for
Was it 10? Wow.
yeah, it was let me see if I remember them off the top of my head. It was the default variant, there was the women variant, there was the hero and villains, each one their own variant, and then there was the 6-pack of each of the main characters. So there was like a separate cover. So yeah, there was 10 variants, and he did okay, man. He's like sitting at 140K or something.
Wow.
But then you got like, yeah, I think the what I hate though, and guys just don't do this. Like, I mean, even your boy Zach did it, and this just kind of, I was like, I got the eye twitch. I just got the basic Kelsey Shannon variant. Man, well, first, I know Kelsey Shannon does good work, but he had like 5 variants of Expendables Go to Hell, but he didn't show any of them in the campaigns. Like, I want to see what the cover looks like before I decide which one to buy. Like that, that pissed me off so much. But,
Yeah, I know.
but this just got I still got it though. I got the Kelsey Shannon variant.
Yeah, I know. Your boy Zach, he's working on his version of a cover now. Because I didn't even know he drew, but apparently, he's not too bad. He's throwing up some previews of it. So it's Stallone with holding a gun and smoking a cigar. But yeah, so it's at least one that I guess he's kind of starting to show off as far as the different covers. And Antonio Bryce on his new brand, Way of the Gun. I think he's doing like 5 or 6. Ethan is doing one of them actually.
Yeah, and I think Ethan's is the only one he didn't show.
Yeah.
Because I bet Ethan hasn't even started it yet. I'm not ripping on him. It's just we all know he's busy with multiple projects. So
yeah, it's really nice of him though to say, yeah, I'll do one. Even though he's got a pile of work ahead of him.
Oh yeah, Skits Comics saying he waited until the hardcover came out for Expendables. Yeah, that's true. Oh, and then that Kyle Ritter Chromium one. Like it wasn't even the book. Like it was like a little add-on extra one. So because that's the thing that got me too. Because I was reading through, it's like, how is that only 32 pages? Like what the hell? And then it's like, oh yeah, it's like director's commentary and things like that. Like, okay, I got it. Man, I can't wait for that to come out. By the way, that one just looked fun. But you know what else is fun? Fucking fighting these giant. Are those like insect things there? And that there you got the dudes and some mechs fighting them.
Well, that's if you scroll up, that's it's Malakar's army that he's formed.
The cyborg army.
Well, there. So he actually has the ability to. He's kind of like this extremely powerful necromancer. So there's all kinds of different types of units in there. There's rock monsters, there's undead, there's a part that I have ideas for him to make these kind of element creatures as well. So he's more of the fantasy element that comes into it, like with Nalaria and Pagan. But yeah, that's his art. That's kind of a glimpse of his massive army coming at them and then preparing for the battle ahead. And this idea here was just to kind of give everybody this, the idea that there's, yes, the first 2 issues focuses on Santara for now, but there is a bigger world. There's more characters. There's more to this team. It is a diverse team in terms of their abilities and the type of characters that they are.
Now, is this guy on the right? Is he in a mech suit too, like this guy, or is he the actual mech?
He is the actual mech. He's an AI, basically super kind of robot transformer type character. He has this basic form that is kind of like this large sphere that has all these wires that come out of him. He also has a basic head, and those wires then can attach themselves to different types of, or attach themselves to weaponry and metal armament and what have you. And then and he can actually weld as well. At the end, there's welders, so that he can weld and build onto himself and make him big. And eventually, he does get as big as you see him here in this shot. And he just keeps adding weaponry. So he's, the stakes, like I said before, are very high in the storyline. So he's always pretty much fully armamented. And that right there in the back, where they're jumping off the mountain there or the cliff, that's his bombardment mode he's turned into. Because he's about to lay down a whole bunch of explosive firing down on the army that's charging at them. But yeah, he's also able to. There's a part and later in the story where he'll kind of create these suits for the teammates to help them fight in this really big battle that's coming. So he's kind of like this giant walking Swiss Army knife, if you will. He's this very big support unit that has almost unlimited capability in terms of helping the teammates out and giving them a boost in battle, as well as a great protective unit as well. There's a lot of that comes into the story, especially Delaria, since she's more limited on her armament. He does a lot where he will protect her in battle and keep her from getting beat down too much, because she's more of a rogue type. So she's very agile, very fast. So she chooses not to really weigh herself down with armament that way, so that she can be very quick and dodge attacks and what have you.
Man, that's actually what Ashiara was originally going to be when I had the Blade Devil story in mind. She was gonna be more of a like stealthy, like rogue type character. But then it at least for the type of story we wanted to make, maybe it'll be a lot cooler if she was more, in your face, just killing your ass with a giant two-handed sword. So
yeah, more like a berserk. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But no, this is great though, man. You guys got mechs, and there's going to be this epic mech battle coming up, right? Because this is again the only complaint I had about Jawbreaker's God King was how Zach just blue balled us with the mechs. Yeah, do you know what I mean? Have you read that book?
No, I haven't.
Oh God, no. So
I missed it when it came out.
Oh well, he probably have another. Well, hopefully he'll have another printing later. But
especially since he keeps doing reprints, he'll probably do the same.
Yeah. So what pissed me off was that he set up this fight. Because the God King was sitting in the middle of Manhattan in his own mech. So the Jawbreakers found a mech that they actually defeated a long ass time ago, and they hacked into it, and then it looked like he was setting up this giant mech fight. But what ended up happening was, they because I mean, it makes sense with the story because they were only trying to lead him into Central Park for unspecified reasons that I'm not going to spoil, and he was trying to lead them into Central Park, and that's what they did, right? But how they did it was the two mechs just kind of looked at each other, and then one of them ran away while the other one chased him down and then tackled him and started tearing parts off. Like that was the extent of the mech quote unquote fight. Right. So I was like, I was at least hoping they'd exchange a few blows or fire off a laser or something. But yeah, that's the one complaint I have, was that they set up this awesome mech battle and then just didn't deliver. But the entire rest of the book was good. I enjoyed it. Well, even the mech scenes were good. It just you just blue balled us, that's all it is. Just a case of blue balls. Man. Yeah, and then was it Knife Hand's dad? That one, I laughed out loud on one of his lines in that book because because let's see, no, Knife Hand's goal is to get revenge on his dad, and he thinks he does. I mean, he destroys his dad's like skyscraper,
Hmm.
and then his dad's just looking at him like, so you threw away everything, like the friends who were the new family you found, you threw everything away to destroy this $500 million skyscraper of mine that I have insured for $1 billion. Sad.
Sad.
Yeah, I just bust out laughing.
That's
Like,
awesome.
yeah, that was fucking perfect right there. And it's like, ha, what are you going to do now, Dad? I took down your $500 million skyscraper. That's okay. I had it insured for $1 billion. No biggie.
No biggie.
Thanks for helping me out, dumbass. All right, and then it's got a super chat. So Corsonic 23, thank you for the $5. It would be great if Bob Chapek kicked Kathleen Kennedy out of Lucasfilms or banned her from making Star Wars movies. Well, if it's true that she was banned from the set of The Mandalorian, that would be a good first. That would be a good indication. But it looks like that story group, aka the committee that they're using to design was High Republic. It looks like they're still involved, unfortunately.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, but and see, I thought the story group was originally formed with the intention of keeping everything consistent and within canon and all that, and then we got the Disney trilogy. They all need to be fired. Oh,
Yep.
all right. So back to the tiers then. Then we got the you got two different covers of the book, right? And so the $35 tier is a PDF, a signed book, and now the covered one, the metallic cover is signed. Now is this like a metallic as in something like chromium, or is it just with the
It's more along the chromium. It's so it's like a silvering that they do over the cover, and then the art is over that. So basically all the white, any of the bright coloring kind of comes through as a metallic, like underside. So it's hard to explain, but it's more like I know they did a lot of covers that were similar to that in the 90s. I just can't think of any more particular. But yeah, so it's just like a silver so you have the actual paper for the cover, and then they do a silver over that, and then over that they do all the artwork, and it makes it so that all that silver comes through underneath on the artwork and gives it that metallic sheen. It makes all the like I said, all the bright colors pop with the metallic underneath.
Okay, and then with the metallic deluxe package, it's the same thing minus issue 2, but instead you get the metallic trading cards and the art print. Now, are these the same trading cards and art print, just printed on the metallic sheet?
Yes.
Or is it okay?
Yep.
Okay, cool. So if you love yourself some metal.
Yep.
I mean, this entire thing looks pretty metal, but yeah, yeah. Then we got the 2 remaining sketch cards we were just talking about. You got the Dread Fiend and Zathara with both of her blades out.
Mm-hmm.
The one blade one is gone, so sucks to be you. You can't have it.
I can't have it.
Yeah, $25 for the metallic cover, that the autographed one that he was just talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Non-autographed. $20. Yeah, that's. I'm glad you're doing this too, because I think both Ethan and your boy Zach learned the hard way. Like, you don't sign all of them, because first off, if you like Ethan, you end up with 20,000 books. Yeah, you're going to be there all day for weeks on end. But also, in my opinion, anyway, signatures are only valuable because they're rare, right? Like, not everyone has one.
Exactly.
But when every single copy of the book is signed, I mean, it'll probably be worth more if you had an unsigned one at that point.
And a lot of people they really like the rarity. I haven't got any like negative feedback or why'd you sign every book, but I've gotten more definitely, like I said, not only positive is when people, I tell them it's extra to sign it, and they said, I'll take the signed one, because they know, like you said, it's going to be worth more. Provided I get my name bigger and the book out more, but definitely their eyes light up more often when they hear that the signed version is more rare, and so a lot of times they'll ask me, like, should I get it graded? And I have had people, I think 1 or 2 people have graded book so far, which was really cool. But yeah.
Well, hopefully they bought multiple copies because you can't read it anymore after you do that.
Right. Yeah, they did. Yeah.
Cool.
And one
Yeah.
convention I was at, there was they were actually there. Was it CGC? And they had a booth, and the guy went over and got one of the person at the booth to come over and witness me sign it. And, to make it official. There was, because they said that helps the, I guess, the grading or whatever, the grading percentage if they witness the signature.
Oh, that's another advantage of doing it at a convention. Then,
Exactly.
so speaking of that, I mean, if you didn't get Blade Devil signed, I'm gonna be at that convention in Florida next year. So, yeah, just come find me there.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's yeah. Then there will be signatures. Oh, okay. So, and then the main book, the main cover that we saw, that which is this one, and so yeah, $10 for the main book, and another extra $5 to have it signed, and that's pretty much. Or you could just get the digital for $5.
Yep.
And then the deluxe one we covered at the beginning, right? Yeah, you got the PDF, the signed copy, the trading cards, and the art print. Not metallic though. Metallic is an extra $10.
Mm-hmm.
If I could, yeah, $10 for that same stuff in metallic. Oh, I just clicked on it, but this could be perfect. Now you get okay. So now you can see the add-ons. Yeah,
mm-hmm.
Yeah, you could. Oh, you could actually add other copies of issue 2 as well, huh? Okay, so
like I was saying earlier, if you want to get one to put away and then one to read, there you go.
And it's $2 off what it was at the main page.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Now, I was debating on doing some of these add-on perks on my campaign, but I think a lot of people just missed. I know Cecil had that problem where he had add-on perks, but they didn't load for a lot of people, so they didn't know they were add-on perks. I'm just maybe the next campaign we'll do that, but for now, just no add-on perks. We'll create extra tiers if we have to, but this is good.
Something I've learned too from my experience, because I didn't do add-ons, for the first campaign because I only had one issue. But doing it this time around, I found out that add-ons is something new to Indiegogo. If I'm not, or at least that's the way people make it sound, and it's definitely new to people that do Indiegogos. That you'll see a whole lot of campaigns. In fact, I have yet to see that I can recall a campaign that did add-ons. So that's kind of a little bit of a barrier I've had to work around, getting people to, having to explain how it, that you can add it on at checkout, and that it is there. I've got it on the campaign and in bold writing that you can add it on, but a lot of people still miss that, and so I get a lot of questions. I still get a lot of people ask me, can I still get issue 1? How do I get issue 1? And I'm always happy to tell them it's just you just gotta click on the one of the issue 2 tiers, and then you can add it on. But it is kind of a unfortunately kind of a thing where I have to because it is a new thing to people. They don't see campaigns with add-ons, like I said, a lot. So it's explaining on my part to tell people, oh yeah, you can do it. You just gotta click on the
They need to expand this functionality, because what I believe they need to do is they need to let you add on to already purchased tiers. Because I say, even within Indiegogo, you could set it to fulfilled once you ship out, right? So, yeah. So as long as your perk isn't fulfilled yet, you should be able to put these add-ons to a perk you already bought.
I think they should add a basket, because if you think about, like, I've had people that will get 1 or 2 of the packages, and they have to make one order and then go back and make a second order. You can't just put it all in the one thing, and
you can't combine shipping and things like that.
Exactly. Yeah. I really wish that's something that Indiegogo needs to add. I believe, because you can also that for me, I think it or for someone who's running a campaign, it gives you more options to put on your more tiers to buy, because then you don't, it doesn't feel like you're just forcing them, like I said, to go back and buy like second time, go through that again. Then you could just have a bunch of different tiers, and then people just click what they want, add it all to their cart, and then go to checkout and get it all at once. But
Yeah, although I think that that'll require probably a lot more setup from the campaign owner
Mm.
just to get the shipping worked out. Because because maybe if they could work with Amazon or something to figure that out. But yeah, I mean, shipping is gonna. Yeah, because if you mix and match different items that could have different weights to them and all that, then or you push the package above the threshold into the next. Like say if you're using flat rate boxes or something, and now this is pushing it to the next one up. It's an extra $7. Yeah, that I think maybe that's probably the biggest problem. Is then you'd have to kind of so you as the creator would have to account like if this is added onto an existing perk, how much more would it increase the shipping, if any? And maybe they'd have to add estimated weight and dimensions.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess you could just like at each tier have your set shipping, and then when they add it to the cart, it just stacks the shipping, I suppose. But
yeah, that's probably the easiest way. But yeah, the GeoPrime 2814, thank you for the $2. Sorry I can't stay. Here's some shekels. Oh, much appreciate that. And Zachary Colley, thank you for the 2. Beware of Florida man. Yeah, you do not want to be screwing with Florida man. You're gonna end up maybe eaten by a gator or something. My favorite one though, oh god, a few there was that guy that he called the cops on his drug dealer because he suspected he was like lacing his cocaine with oregano or something.
Really?
Like that one. Yeah. And then there was some people that called the cops to report their drugs stolen. Yeah, there's all sorts of nice Florida man situations.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. Oh yeah, so I guess Spectrum Ball has a point that Indiegogo isn't a merchant site; it's a crowdfunding site. So you're getting a so-called reward for helping fund the campaign. That's true. I guess that's the least of their worries. But so shipping aside, the one thing they do need to do though is allow you to add perks to exist to you could do this add-on right now. And actually, does this adding add-on perks? Does that increase the shipping?
Yeah. For the physical ones, it will. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So it looks like they already kind of have that, but yeah, you need to be able to do this into finished ones. Like they just charge you the difference. Like if issue 1 increased the shipping by $2, it would just charge you an extra 13, but then update your perk with this. So when I'd be fulfilling it, I would see you got whatever the fuck you bought plus this, instead of you having to do it twice. Because people add extra add-on perks as well sometimes, I noticed. Oh, I need to go back. Yeah, leave. Let's go back to the main page.
I was going to confirm the question. You just...
Yeah, I kind of assumed. It looks like you were looking through pages.
Well, I'm trying to remember if that let's see here.
Oh well, maybe it would just if you just go into the campaign editor and perks. Yeah, I don't have any add-on perks, so I can't see. But if I click on any of my existing perks, and all the way at the bottom is the shipping. So. Oh shit, we just passed 61K. Man, you guys are fucking awesome.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, and I can see what the last couple of ones were too. Oh man. Right.
Yeah, I can imagine your because when you get the notifications.
Oh my god! No, I have like 800 emails.
Oh, they just flagging on your thing.
Yep.
Damn.
Yeah, that's exactly okay. I think I have some more super chats.
At least.
Yep, I got another super chat that just came in. So at least now that I enabled PayPal, I get those too. So I see that. So Bell OD, thank you for the $1. Indiegogo still not accepting my credit card. Any other way I can get Blade Devil? Well, have you tried calling your bank about it? or actually, no, you don't live in Mexico, do you? Because I know I don't think anyone in Mexico can use Indiegogo because at least according to Tony, who's Mexican,
Huh, I didn't know that.
yeah, he said that they apparently had a lot of credit card and bank fraud there
Oh,
for a while, and then
oh,
so Indiegogo just like refuses all like Mexican credit cards and debit cards now.
that's crazy.
Yeah, so actually, but although maybe that's not true though. So if you're Mexican, and by that I mean an actual like, Mexican citizen living in Mexico with a Mexican credit card and things like that. Yeah, if you're living in Mexico, you got that Mexican credit card, and you found a way to get Indiegogo to not reject you, dude. Let me know.
What's the workaround?
Yeah, how'd you do it? Yeah, let me know. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
because
a shame that the whole, someone to ruin it for everybody else. Whoever was hacking things, and now everybody just gets locked out. It's a
yeah.
shame.
Oh yeah, that's true. No, okay, so Talks Man Baby saying was asking, and we can sell the extras after the campaign ends, and we print all of them. Could just pay the $6 by PayPal. Yeah. Well, we our website will be up shortly, and we could just add a shop to it. Yeah. Well, once Bob gets the payment portal running,
Mhm.
that'll definitely be doable as well. We could integrate PayPal into that. Yeah, it's just shit. We probably could. I'm just thinking of enough just for my purposes for bookkeeping. We could, huh? Yeah, I'll have to think about that. I'll have to think about it just because. Yeah, I mean, we have a business PayPal account, so there just have to be some. Yeah, so wait until the website's up. I guess
Yeah,
that's all I can say. Yeah, because we plan on keeping it in demand until we deliver.
right.
So,
Yeah, I
so
got
yeah,
a website, and so that it works pretty well. I've sold
yeah,
a decent amount of my books on that, and so if you got one coming, that's awesome.
yeah, exactly. So yeah, we'll have a PayPal page on the site. We just got to design it and make it first. That's all. So
Yeah, look into conventions too, like you're considering. I think it's worth it. It's been worth it for me so far, and I've got 4 lined up so far for this year.
so when you go to conventions, do you set up do you pay the big bucks to set up in the dealers area, or do you set up in Artist Alley?
Artist Alley.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. As a creator, you can totally do to Artist Alley, no problem. And I've met a decent amount of other art or comic book creators that are um, do it as well. It's funny though, from my experience so far from doing conventions, I did 3 last year, and they're my first 3 that I've done as a vendor, and there was surprisingly less comic book creators there than I thought there would be at each
Ooh,
of the 3.
less competition for you, man.
Yeah,
Perfect.
yeah. But it was more people like selling reprints of stuff, and their own like creations of different things, which is pretty cool too still. But I was hoping to see more creators, but that's all right.
But it turned
Uh,
out to your benefit, man. I
yeah,
mean,
like
yeah,
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 definitely.
or especially because every time I walk into Artist Alley, let's just say if you were sitting there in a table with like one of these life-sized like dread fiends, or
Mhm.
maybe a mini one, like human-sized, right? I could see here there that the little baby dread fiends exist. I mean, yeah, there's one right here. It could just be one of the little baby ones. Yeah, and you had like this art just laid out.
Mhm.
Dude, you probably sell out because I know you've been to artist alleys. I mean, you got stuff like this or even a lot better, and that's like 5% of it, and then everywhere else is just hobbyists in their garage producing things that honestly don't look all that great.
Mm. So that's pretty
So
good.
yeah,
But yeah, there's some stuff I'm like, but no,
yeah.
there's some really good stuff. I've seen some, like, even though they're not, creating comics, they're still pretty talented artists and making cool stuff. But
Yeah, I just got to imagine, like, how much must it suck to be the poor sap that gets there, that gets set like like, say if Ethan was running a table in Artist Alley, imagine being the poor sucker sat right next to him, like, motherfucker.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, or like John Malin, any of those guys. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. But well, that's the thing too. Like Ethan, for instance, they'll probably have him. You know, if they had him in a show, he'd be in with the because they do have sections where they have bigger creators, like more mainstream. They're on the list when you go to the website. Not that I'm saying I don't get on the list yet. I was on the list for my last convention, but still, the bigger names, they put them in a special area actually. From what I've seen at the conventions that I've done, and so Ethan would be just, I guess he would still be competing with all the little guys in the Artist Alley, but he wouldn't be in with Artist Alley. I don't think they'd put him in his own special area with the other big names.
yeah. Yeah, so oh man, I wonder how that's going to work like at the CG. Well, but then again, the fucking Comicsgate convention is going to be nothing but good shit like this. So yeah, we don't have to worry about
Just
that.
to do that, just to see all those books together is going to be incredible.
Yeah, watching everyone try to outsell and outshill each other.
Wow, yeah. Of course, you can also learn a lot too. I mean, I've learned, from other people doing this at conventions, how they sell their stuff and what have you, how to improve.
Oh yeah, yeah. And you said you sold like what 200 of them at a convention?
I think it's as many as 300.
Yeah. So see, just like Drew, right? I mean, you're at 129. Wait, let's see, maybe. All right, still at 129, but then you sold like 2 to 3 times that at conventions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the thing. So you see guys make this on Indiegogo, but yeah, no, both you and Drew, like most of your sales then come after that through conventions, and this would be a good way too. I mean, because if I was just scrolling through this campaign and went like, okay, I'll think about it, and then I saw you at a convention and you actually had the book, like, why don't you flip through it real quick and flip through all the nice spoilery pages, like. Okay, I could probably do that. Yeah, I mean, it from what you've seen, right? I mean, it makes a huge difference if you can actually pick up the book.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, especially when you see the quality, that it is actually a well put together book when people pick it up and look at it, and they're pretty impressed. So,
no, dude, that's what it did. It worked for me with that. I mean, I just said, and it was over the internet. Like when Ethan showed his Salamandroid chromium that came in, I was like, God damn it. I missed my chance to get that. But then he put up the second chance, thankfully. But yeah, that's what did it for me. I mean, when I just saw because the regular, it was a good piece of art, but I thought I already got one copy. I don't need another one. But then I saw it actually printed on the chromium and how awesome it looked. Woo! He better put the remainder of those up because I'm going to get one.
Yeah, hopefully you will. I'll grab me one.
Yeah.
I missed the first round of those, so I mean I didn't have the money at the time to get it, so maybe this next round I'll get it.
Yeah, maybe. I think I hope he still has. I know in his. Well, actually, we could probably check in the Unforgettable Tales one. Let me look up Unforgettable. Hey, what was the first thing? I know he put a lot of his remainders into this campaign. Yeah, okay. The book. Oh, what's this? Oh, this is the one with the wrecked planet ash can.
Oh, yeah.
And the signed one. Okay, both wrecked planet preview. Oh, the Salamandroid blacklight poster.
Yeah,
or regular one.
Tempting.
Yeah, then the unsigned. Yeah, here we go. We got the line art. Yeah, he put the line art variants in here, but okay, he doesn't have the others. I mean, I think he. We're just gonna have to look. We're just gonna have to look through all his shit. Let me, let me just pull up his list of campaigns. Actually, it opened up in another tab, so let me put it back here. All right, it was in one of these. I think we had him. Yeah, this was the Salamandroid ones. Oh, there we go. Second Chance Chromium plus posters. Yeah, I think you may have already missed it if you didn't get it here, because I think this was the one. Although he still seems to have like a little under 200 left, so maybe they'll make an appearance again.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's just waiting for the right moment, probably. The right
well,
campaign.
well, or in person. I mean,
Yeah,
if
I
you're
was
going to be
aiming
there
for
in May,
for
yeah.
CGCon, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. This will be the way to do it, man. That's your motivation to go. Or alternatively, there's like $100 on eBay. You could go that route.
Right.
Oh, and Zachary Cowley, thank you for the $10. Maybe there won't be as much competition in the literature industry with all this woke crap pulling a Darwin and all the activist content. I should get back to writing soon. Oh, fuck yeah. Yeah, remember when Harry Potter and them just kickstarted the YA genre? And they was making billions, and that's where everyone went to make YA books. And now everyone is leaving because it's nothing but woke garbage. So yeah, I mean, if you got the skills to make like the next Harry Potter, just wait a little bit until that industry hits rock bottom.
Yep.
And then you can have all these like thirsty ass people who love this content but can't get good stuff, and it'll be like the YA novel version of Comicsgate.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we're the mainstream comic version of of that, you know.
Yeah, I mean, if you have the time, write your books now and edit them like a billion times over since you got the time, and just wait for your chance to release them. Yeah, that's a good point. We may see the perfect opportunity to or sci-fi novels as well. Even sci-fi has been infested by NPCs. So just wait until the entire sci-fi and fantasy novel market crashes, and you come in with your good shit.
Exactly.
God, but if you're making
yeah,
if you're making comics though, get it out ASAP, because if you do, even this year is so much more crowded than it was last year.
Yep.
So just imagine what March of current year +1 is going to look like.
Yep.
That is going to be insane.
Yeah, there's already a lot of big stuff, and there's more big stuff coming this year. It's gonna be crazy.
Oh yeah, and that's one of the reasons why as well. I mean, I was thinking like, no, should I delay Blade Devil or launch earlier? Because I saw that we're launching literally the same fucking weekend as Xenotype and Brand, and then Ethan's launching 2 weeks later. Right. But then
it's getting harder to tell when you can do it, you know, or when's the best time.
No, you can't anymore, because no matter what you pick, you're always going to be competing against someone.
You look at Zach, like he came out of nowhere with the Expendables, you know. It's like what?
And I think he said he's going to try to do at least 4 campaigns a year too. Wow. So you're always going to be competing against. So then I came to the conclusions like, no, just fuck. It doesn't matter. Just launch whenever you're ready, because you're never going to find a better chance. It's going to get more and more crowded as time goes on.
Yep. And you get more surprises too. People, you know, because I guess it seems to be working pretty well for a lot of people, where they don't tell anyone about the campaign and they just, you know, surprise, here it is. And especially if it's something, you know, they're pretty confident about. I mean, of course, Expendables was going to make money, so
yeah. I mean, I've been building up Blade Devil and shilling it for almost a year. So, because I mean, that worked for Mitch with Red Rooster. That's what I saw him doing. I mean, he was shilling that Red Rooster character for at least 6 months before the campaign. Yeah, that's how you do it, man. You shill early. You get people hyped for it.
Yeah. Unless you got like, you know, some big IP like Expendables. Yeah.
Do
a YouTube show. Do, you know, as much marketing as you can early on, and then. Like I said, about 6 months or so. Heck, even do the, I would say as soon as you start getting a decent amount of art done, and do go ahead and launch the mailing list, you know, early pre-order, you know what I mean, with the early launch pad mailing list, like 6 months early or so. I didn't do it for this one, but I'm going to do something more along that lines with the next one. And, you know, like you said, just do a YouTube channel. I'm in the process now of building my own, and you know, try to build an audience as much as possible with that. be a strong presence on Twitter and even Instagram. Probably more so Twitter. You probably get more results on Twitter. I have. Go ahead and make you even a Facebook page and try to build a fan base there as well. But just like you said, chill as much as you can, as early as you can. And like you said, 6 months is a good time to build and build and build and then launch it.
Yeah, fuck yeah. Oh, and then there's my artisty in the chat too, saying that even the supposedly dead period of January and February technically might actually do good if someone would try. Well, it depends on how big you are. I mean, if Ethan launched in January, he'd still get 6 figures because I mean he already has that audience. No, dude, fuck. This is the perfect comparison to Star Wars. Right there is like, no, Ethan is like the Star Wars of Comicsgate. I mean, he has his own built-in audience that he's loyal to them, they're loyal to him back.
Yep.
And now imagine if Disney bought the rights to Cyberfrog and did what they did to Star Wars. Then they'd all leave. They'd be like, man, fuck you, fuck this. Nope. Yeah, so and that's what I'm trying to do. I mean, and since this is our first book, and Blade Devil's our first book, there's probably going to be some flaws. There's probably going to be some things we could have done better. Just let us know. That's all I ask. Just let us know. We're trying to give you what you want. There are obviously there's some things that we're not going to do. Like if you just say, "Oh, I don't like the art style," like, well, too bad. That's the art style this book has. I mean, that's one of those things we're not going to compromise on. But if you got some like constructive criticism, like it's like, oh no, you could have handled these transitions better by doing this. Like, oh, this dialogue sucked. You could have done this. Like, oh, if this character just said this, it would have gotten the personality across better. Like things like that. Yeah, you let us know. Yeah, because we want to keep getting better. We're still noobs in this.
Yeah. All the time, and I take every bit of criticism seriously.
Oh, I'll give you the same criticism your boy Zach gives Kelsey Shannon when he's doing covers for him. Boobs bigger, waist thinner.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, that's. I mean, it works. I mean, they. Man, I mean, obviously, as Ethan showed with Cyberfrog, you don't need sex appeal to sell good product,
right?
But it sure fucking helps. You got to have more than just that, because that's nothing I have to keep reminding people. I mean, use sex appeal to sell your work, but your work better have more than just that going for it.
Exactly.
Because otherwise, if that's all you have, I'd be like, I'm just going to go watch hentai instead. I don't need this. This is like a lesser version of hentai. There's not even any tentacles in here. They're not even penetrating any orifices. What the fuck is this shit? No, man, I'm just gonna go for that. Oh, Master Mano's saying scan for typos. Yeah, see, some of the preview images we've put up do have some typos in them, and the most recent one, like some of the text is actually the wrong color in one of the speech bubbles.
Oh wow!
There are some flaws there, but that's why we specify everything we show is a work in progress.
Yeah.
Don't go assuming this is the final version, because for all I know, once the entire book is done, quite a bit of the dialogue may change. So yeah, that's just something to keep in mind. I mean, at least that's just the way I write anyway. Nothing's ever set in stone. There's always things that can change. If it makes it cooler, we'll fucking do it.
Right. Especially before you print it. If it's still digital, it's so easy to change it.
Yeah. Saying if you're noobs, then who's the epic boss? That would probably be the big trio of Ethan, your boy Zach, and Doug. Yeah, although, man, Blade Devil's getting pretty close to passing Doug in numbers, but oh wait, where was it? Oh yeah, I did. I was still thinking. Wait, were we still there? No, I was on the right page. There you go. I didn't want to leave Chaotic Flux yet, man. But Bigfoot Bill Bigfoot Bill 2 had a very strong initial launch, and then it just petered out. I mean, and that's what happens with Brian Pulido. That happens to all of his campaigns. But that's just because he has his dedicated followers, and he mastered the art of the mailing list. And the vast majority of the people who were going to buy Lady Death probably come in on day one and do it. but that's pretty rare. I mean, yeah, most of the time, you get like day 1 and 2. I mean, I guess like with our own campaign, you get a huge boost at the beginning, and then it just slowly starts petering off a bit, and then there's another boost at the end. But with Doug, it was like day 1 was this giant leap, and then it just flatlined.
Wow.
So that was, I mean, he's still, every time I check, he has more money and backers, but man, I wonder. Well, there are theories abound, that he's not even making money on his comic campaigns. I could believe it. I have Earthworm Jim.
I mean, as much as he's charging for shipping, that's not be surprising if he's not making money.
Well, it is very high quality. I mean, I'm not, see, I mean, as many issues as people may have with Doug as a person, you can't talk shit about his work. I mean, his work is good.
The hardbound that he did of the first Bigfoot bill looked amazing.
Yeah. Oh no, it was. And Earthworm Jim, fucking spectacular. The making of book, spectacular. Very high production value. All the extras, even the packaging. I mean, yeah, and the content within. I mean, I enjoyed it. It was good work. But the theory is he's breaking even on these campaigns, which is why he apparently like canceled a lot of those international backers, because he would have lost money on that. No, but his goal is to get, especially after the Sonic movie, his goal is to get them Hollywood deals. No, just like the SJW comic pros. Like that's the end game is getting Hollywood. Now meanwhile, I'll tell you my end game right now. I want to do comics, video games, and animation. And one is not a stepping stone to the other. I want to do all of it. I mean, look, Japan does that perfectly. You got manga, anime, and video games all being released simultaneously, and that whole multimedia shit they got going on. That's what I want to do. So yeah, one is not just a step towards the other; it's all of the above. Or like this, we played the Chaotic Flux trailer, and everyone was like, "Whoa, is this Doom? This would be a good fucking first-person shooter, man."
Right. Yeah, I would love to see it. Yeah, definitely a video game one day at Chaotic Flux. Hopefully I can make that happen and get there. I remember it was a stream I did a while back, and I thought it was a fun idea that Magus from War Campaign, he was saying that he thought it would make a great 16-bit game, like a 16-bit action game. That would be a fun idea, and not too expensive either.
Yeah, exactly. And see, video games, all the development tools they have available now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, just like how almost anyone can make a comic these days, even if you don't have the skill yourself, if you get the people together, you could do it. But and video games, you don't need to know shit about coding. You just need to just work within the engine you're using. As long as you don't need to do anything custom, you never even need to touch code.
Right.
Now, the animation is the big choking point right now, because animation is so fucking expensive and time consuming, and there's, other than CG, there's no shortcuts. But but good looking CG is hard work.
Yeah,
and then we get to the time and money again. Yeah, animation is.
Yeah, I'm looking. They released that trailer for the new Transformer series on Netflix, and it's all CG, but it's like half good. I mean, it looks okay, but I'm more interested to see what the story's gonna be like, especially since it focuses on the Cybertron Wars. But I definitely wish they went with 2D or more of a mix of 2D and CG, but because it's like you said, they kind of just, it looks like they rushed it basically. It could have been much better CG, I think. Of course, it is just the trailer. Maybe the actual thing's going to look better, but I wasn't that impressed with the CG animation on that.
Hey, 4187 got one more backer.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Someone paid $57, so you could probably figure out which one of your tiers that was. And yes, it includes shipping, so it was probably the collector's package, wasn't it? Yeah,
probably.
Awesome. Oh, and it's got the metallic versions, the regular ones. Yep. Nice.
Yep.
Yeah, everything but the t-shirt.
Yep, everything but the T-shirt.
Oh man, yeah, good. Again, this would be a great first-person shooter. Like it
Yeah,
really would.
yeah,
And this first-person shooters are that's the main genre Unreal Engine was ultimately built for.
yeah,
So
yeah. I love that
hey,
engine, man. It's amazing what that thing can do. They're still pumping out new footage of awesome animations they're making with it, and new games. And the guy that, if I'm not mistaken, I think that was the engine they used. The guy who did District 9. Have you ever heard of Oats? I think it's Oats Studio or something Oats. But anyway, he's been creating a bunch of independent projects, both live action and animated. And there's a couple he did that were in CGI, and if I remember right, that was done in the Unreal Engine. It looked amazing. There's this future about these like androids and being suppressed or oppressed by
Studio Oats.
yeah, studios. Thank you. Yeah, they do really. I mean, he's made from my understanding, these are little projects that he's put together, and they're kind of like things he's throwing out there and showing everybody. And if they get enough interest, and if they get picked up by investors or what have you, then he'll pursue the idea of making them into a movie series or TV series or bigger projects. And a lot of them are really cool. There's this one where it takes place there, and I want to say it's Vietnam, and this guy develops superpowers where he's able to do crazy stuff with his mind. Very similar to what we were talking about earlier, like blowing people up with your mind and stuff like that. And it was pretty radical. But yeah, he does one too with what's her name, Dakota Fanning. She's in it, and she's trying to survive this horrific abomination type creature that comes together and feeds on kind of like my dread fiends really, I guess, but it like absorbs other things and adds to it, just like how that absorbs other life forms into it, makes itself bigger and more nasty and disgusting, and she's trying to get out of there before it gets her. So yeah, if you ever get a chance to check them out, they're pretty cool. There's one too he did with Sigourney Weaver. I forgot about that too. That was like the first one I think he did, and it was about an alien or a future where Earth is being taken over by aliens, and they like control everything, enslaved humanity, and there's this revolt by humanity to stand up against the aliens. And they have the aliens have like these weird telekinetic abilities that could if I'm right, they can like get inside your head and then like basically scramble your brains if they want to. That's how they control people.
Well, or it could be like those intellect devourers in D&D. They literally eat your brain and replace it, and they become you.
Oh yeah, those things are awesome. You remind me of I mean, I'm pretty excited for Baldur's Gate 3 with the how they're focusing on the mind flayers. I don't know if you've seen that new trailer that just came out, but man, that looks amazing. Have you seen it yet? Where the mind flayer comes into the city, and he's in his big weird squid ship, and he's like wrecking the city. So then the defense comes in, which they're like 3 dragon riders, and so they're trying to take out the mind flayer. And well, actually, before that, it shows the mind flayer infecting people with his parasites and turning them into other mind flayers. And so I mean, there's a lot to it. It's a really really awesome trailer. I was like, man, I can't wait for this game. It really feels like it's embodying that spirit, of the old Baldur's Gate, but way more than what we've seen before.
The stakes have never been higher.
Mm.
Oh man, that's I'll have to look. I actually haven't been paying too much attention.
It's one of the best game trailers I've seen in a while, especially for an RPG. It really gets, it's a big epic.
Yeah, I just got to see the company that's making it. Larian. Okay, okay. It's probably going to be okay then. That's good. Okay.
I'm a big fan of the Divinity.
Yeah.
So,
all right.
And yeah, I played both of the Divinity 1 and 2, and when I heard that they were doing it, I was like, yes, this is gonna be awesome.
Yeah, because if it was the same company that did the remakes of Baldur's Gate 1 and 2, I wouldn't have even see. That's the reason that turned me off of Baldur's Gate, kind of. But yeah, I mean, if it's Larian doing it, I will have to.
Well, another thing too that I think is interesting, and I guess to build more assurance behind Lorien doing this game. But apparently, I didn't know this until I found out that Lorien was doing it, and they did a kind of behind the scenes thing on it, and they were talking about how they really, really, really had to convince, the D&D company to let them make this game, because they're just nowadays they're that selective of who they let do something with their property. And they said that several studios had approached them to make a Baldur's Gate 3, and they just been turning them down for years. And then finally Lorien came along, and they decided that they were worthy enough. So that was pretty interesting.
Yeah, that's. I wish more rights holders did that.
Yeah.
I wish more of them were a lot more selective with who they let touch their shit. Because that's, I mean, I know there's like two groups. There's the guys that just don't give a fuck, where they just either way it's free money for us. But they apparently don't realize that once that brand is poisoned, once you fuck it up once, that's it. I mean, you look at Star Wars. No matter how good The Mandalorian is, it's not saving Star Wars. Star Wars can't recover from what Disney did to it.
Right.
It may stimmy some of the blood. I mean, yeah, you're kind of So Star Wars is laying there with both of its legs blown off, and all the Mandalorian did was just stop the bleeding.
Right.
Okay? But it's still legless. So yeah, that's yeah. But then these smart rights holders, they're like, no, I'm not going to give this to anybody who I think is going to damage the brand. And that's I wish they all did that. Like I would.
It's very rare nowadays, but there are sometimes you see that.
Yeah, or at the and I know you get less money if you do it like this, but at the very least, make sure that if you're the original creator, that you maintain veto powers over their creative direction. Like, imagine if Lucas had kept that when he gave Star Wars to Disney. It's like, yeah, you could. It would be like a conditional lease or something. Oh, you can have it, but you can't do shit unless I approve it.
Right.
I mean, you're going to get all the money, but you can't fuck it up.
Yeah, especially, I mean, he sold it for, what was it, 4.6 billion, but he didn't need all that money. He was set for life before that he sold the Star Wars. So, like you said, even if he had to take a less of a cut to sell it, it would have been nothing to him. So why? I mean, I get why he feels like he's too old, and he says, he doesn't want to like it to die with him either. So, but unfortunately, it went the way it went, and yeah.
Oh yeah.
But, that's one of the things that I think is really interesting too about Lucas is, I'm sure you probably heard the story where when he was making Star Wars and the studio was going to get kind of a pretty good check, but he was like, I don't want that. He said, all I want is the rights, the merchandising rights to everything Star Wars. That's all I want. And they're like, really? He's like, yeah, that's all I want. So okay. The next thing you know, everything's selling like gangbusters after the movie came out. That was Star Wars related, and then he's 9 movies later, he's a multi-billionaire.
Yeah, awesome.
Extremely brilliant on his part.
Yeah, fuck yeah, man. What? Oh, and when it comes to Lucas, as much as he was obviously upset with what Disney did to Star Wars, I do not feel sorry for Lucas at all, because he's the one that sold out.
Yep.
And it doesn't matter what Disney promised him in the negotiations. As soon as he gave up full power without some legally binding way that he can keep them to their word, I don't feel sorry for him at all. He sold his baby to the government, not to Disney. He has no right to bitch about what Disney does with it. It's not his anymore. He sold out. So that's a lesson that I keep pointing to people is if you ever sell out, you should only ever do it under 2 conditions. The first one is if you are in such bad shape that you literally it's either selling out or shutting down. I mean, at least there's a chance things might improve if you sell out. And the other one is if you're just done with it. Like, yeah, like with Chaotic Flux, like if eventually you tell all the stories you wanted to tell in this universe, you're done with this IP, you could just tell all your fans, like, hey, I'm done with this. This is the end as far as I'm concerned. I'm selling it to Disney for 4.5 billion now. They could do whatever they want with it, but I'm wiping my hands of it and I am done.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the only 2 times you should sell out, in my opinion. Because if you give up control over your stuff and you sell out, and then you complain that you're being evicted from your own company,
Right?
Shouldn't have sold out, bitch. Zero sympathy from me.
Yep. It is hard though. I think I'm just imagining anyway as a creator that I would think even if you like you said you finish your story and you you tell everybody, okay, I'm done. I'm not going to do any more stories. It's finished. But I am going to sell it to, whoever. And then to sit there and if they do mess it up, they mess your characters all up. Let's say they mess, 90% of it up or whatever. And just to sit there and it'd be hard to watch, I would have to like cut myself off completely, like not watch any of the movies or shows or books they write or whatever else, video games. If they mess it up to that, that much where I'm just like, this is not what I created, but okay. But I think it would still be very, very hard to be like watching, your child get wrecked, it's just nah.
Well, it would be, but if you voluntarily sell your child to the demolition derby, yeah.
Yeah. So that's another thing to think about. Like, that's another, do you really want to sell it with that risk? I don't know. That reminds me of the guy who that created Ghost Rider. I don't know if it was the writer or the artist. I want to say it was the artist, but anyway, he sold or whoever had the most control over Ghost Rider. They sold the rights to Ghost Rider to what was it, Fox. And then afterwards, after they made the movies, he was really unhappy with how they did it, and he actually tried to sue. I don't know if it was both Marvel and Fox, but at least one of them. And they were like, "No, man, you signed that contract. You can't do nothing. You signed the character away. That's it. There's nothing you can do about it." But yeah,
fuck yeah. They and I think Doug, I think one of the reasons he is the way he is because he got fucked over pretty bad too, like that. He created Earthworm Jim and he got pocket change while other people made billions.
right.
So, yeah, he got fucked there too.
Yeah, Vinny Tartamella, the guy who created he's an artist on Through the Woods, the CG book, and he and his brother made a story that had gotten stolen by a studio, and they turned it into a series. Well, I think they said they got like 6 episodes into it, but it was like horrible. Like their version of it was horrible. It only lasted like 6 episodes. They said it was really horrible compared to what their story was. But yeah, they said they just stole it. Like they stole the idea and made the show out of it. And if you ever talk to Vinny and bring that up, he'll tell you all about it. But it's a shame that it happens. Like they just jack your ideas and. Well, like we were talking about earlier, unless you have a lot of money to pay lawyers, there's not much you can do about it.
oh yeah, especially since even in the game industry, this is actually a pretty common practice where a publisher shafts a developer, and the developer actually, if this goes to court, they will win. There's no question that they're going to win. But then the publisher strategy is stalling until the developers run out of money. And that's what they do. They if you got enough money, you just outlast. I mean, that's what Mark Waid is trying to do to your boy Zach right now. He's trying to bankrupt him.
He's sitting there crowdfunding for more money to hold out in court longer against Zach. It's just like.
Yeah. Now the downside to trying that though is once your boy Zach wins, because he's not going to let this stop. I mean, and if there was any risk of him running out of money, we would give him more money. It's like, no, fuck
Right.
no. This needs
Right.
to. This is a fight that
Well,
needs to
then you
win.
got to kind of wonder, if Wade is also doing it, because I know he's got to GoFundMe and he's
No! Even if he is, there's
so
only so long you can stall, though. There is an upper limit until when you run out of stalling tactics. But once your boy Zach wins, just not only is Mark Wade going to be in the hole for all of his legal fees, he's going to have to pay for extra couple of years worth to your boy Zach for all the time he stalled. That's going to be fucking glorious. That victory will be so sweet. Because all of these stalling tactics are just going to turn around and bite him in the fucking ass. Like karma is going to be, that's going to be glorious. Yeah, because that's the thing these guys don't consider is, I mean, if you could stall for 5 years, but if the other guy doesn't run out of money and wins, you owe 5 years of your legal fees and his and the judgment against you. So if we're lucky, maybe by next year, maybe 2 years from now, your boy Zach will be living in that giant fucking mansion and Mark Wade will be rooming with a friend.
That'd be hilarious.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right, man. I cannot wait to see that. Oh, yeah, Cyberpunk 2077 is coming out this year. Yeah, allegedly. It got delayed, but...
I heard, I was at GameStop the other day and I asked, and they said September.
Yeah, I think it was supposed to come out already, but then it was supposed to come out in March. Yeah, then they delayed it to September, something like that.
That's you see that more often now where games get pushed back, but
I'm glad. We're actually finishing it.
Yeah, more often that turns out good because the game, turns out great, and you have to wonder, well, what would have been like if they didn't delay it? So, and especially this is being CG Project Red, they're gonna do it right, they're gonna do it right, hopefully anyway. I mean they did amazing with Witcher 3, so I got a lot of confidence with them on this one.
Yeah, I think
it's first person. I'm kind of weird about first person shooters and RPGs, but even though I like Skyrim, so maybe it'll just be more along that line. I'll get used to it.
Well, but Skyrim lets you switch to third person though. So.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Now I'll admit I played Skyrim in first person. I did, but then every once in a while I switch to third. Now there's some things you just can't do in third person, like accurately shoot a fucking bow. But but yeah, there's it was okay, man. Skyrim was so great with all the mods.
Yep.
And then how much you want to bet that Elder Scrolls 6 is going to be online only? And
I don't want to
no mods. It's going to be like Fallout.
How much they're going to mess that up? Yeah. I mean, you look at Blades. I honestly I still haven't played that yet. The phone game.
Yeah, graphically it looks good.
Yeah, I've heard it's got a decent amount of microtransactions, and I'm not. To me, that's not Elder Scrolls. There's not microtransactions. But
yeah, so what the most egregious thing, like say they you take a quest, you kill some shit, you get a treasure chest, and then it starts a countdown timer. It's like 3 days until this chest opens, but you can pay to open it now.
Right.
I'm not exaggerating either. That's literally what they do.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, as much as I want Elder Scrolls 6, I'm scared. But.
Yes, same thing with GTA. Like, I got no faith that Rockstar isn't gonna. I mean, actually, I'm not. Even if it looks good, I'm not buying it because I'm boycotting everything Take-Two. Like, they've been fucking like sending thugs to people's houses over mods and shit.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like fuck that whole company. I hope Take-Two goes broke all the executives end up fucking homeless. I hate that. I actually I hate Take-Two more than EA and Activision. I fucking despise that company.
I didn't know they were doing that. That's nuts.
Yeah, I will never pay money for anything under their umbrella. I'm not saying I won't play it. I'll never pay them money though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even if GTA 6 ends up good.
Now too, because I was looking forward to GTA 6, but
yeah,
they're doing that kind of crap.
Yeah, I mean, I can't decide what other people do, but me personally, never touching a Take-Two product again. Now, if it's got their logo anywhere on it, nope. Big no. Just like Sony, I'm never touching anything they do either. Not just with gaming, movies, was it electronics? Like nothing. Just Fuck, that whole corporation needs to go bankrupt. So, but that's just that's just my opinion. So, Ryan Joe saying The Witcher's author is an ass. Yeah, yeah,
Oh, yeah, he is.
yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, he's the one that signed the fucking deal. I guess.
Yeah.
I guess he had no faith in CD Projekt Red of actually making a lot of money on The Witcher, so he took the flat fee, and he realized he could have gotten millions, and he sued him. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's like anything that I mean, I have seen some of the episodes that are online of the old original Witcher series that was made, in Switzerland, I think it was. It's awful, but so I can see why he was like, I hated that thing. But he's even saying that stuff about the new series, and I think the new one's pretty good, the one that's on Netflix. So
yeah.
I don't know. I think he's just that type that like if he didn't make it, he hates it.
Yeah, although he doesn't,
the games are great. He disses those all the time,
but he doesn't mind getting all the money they make.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah, this thing is shit. Now, give me all the money you made for it, though.
Give me more money. He wasn't. Like you said, he wanted more money afterwards, and it's like you can't talk crap about it and then ask for more millions, man.
Yeah, I know, man. And even better, actually, Quartering put out a nice video today pointing out how that was GeForce Now. That was supposed to be a good thing. I mean, it basically like you could stream the games you already own. Like you'd basically be like renting a virtual machine on the cloud somewhere where you would pretty much like put your Steam account there and your all the games in your Steam library, you can install them there and then play it from your fucking potato laptop or something.
Wow.
So it's like actually a good version of Stadia. It's like Stadia would have been if it wasn't shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then all these publishers now are saying, "Oh, you better not have our games on your service." But this is a game you already bought, you already fucking own, and these bitch ass publishers are coming up dictating how you're going to play it. So again, now, every single publisher who pulls out of GeForce Now, I'm never buying their games again, and that includes Capcom and Squeenix, by the way, because they're on that list. I mean, maybe it's because like the games industry to me is like the comics industry. I don't give a fuck about any of the AAA stuff anymore when there's so many good indies out there.
Yeah. Well, they're sitting there like the same thing with it's different in a way, but I mean, it's similar but different. Where, the AAAs, mainstream comics are, ruining themselves with all the pumped in politics and twisting of characters, and when they can just make up their own stuff, but they don't. And then the games, it's like we were talking about earlier with Bethesda trying to be the new EA or whatever, and it's like making it so that gamers cannot, like you're talking about with Doom, you're not going to trust Doom right off the bat. You're going to wait to see reviews and a decent amount of gameplay to make a good judgment, and don't listen to shill reviewers and what have you. But that's sad that's where at the point you can't trust AAAs anymore because of Activision and EA and Bethesda, and they just tarnish that name so much, AAA titles, and it's just pathetic and sad. And I mean, luckily Nintendo's still doing pretty good. They live up to their AAAs, and so that's nice. But a lot of these other companies, I don't know. They're just hurting themselves, just like the comic book industry. They're just
and the reason if this was like 10, 20 years ago, I don't think I would have been able to do that. If I still want to be a gamer, I couldn't walk away from them. But now we have so many good alternatives. I mean, I already have so many games in my backlog that I haven't played yet that will probably last me till the day I die.
Yep.
I literally don't need any new games to ever be made again, and I'll be okay. So now that I'm in that position, it's just so easy to drop any of these guys. Just like, nope. Oh, you're only giving me 99% of what I want. Fine. I'm going to leave you then because this other guy's giving me 100%. I don't need to settle for 99% when I can get 100. Fuck that. So this is why I love the free markets, man. Competition is awesome.
Yep.
Oh, got a super chat here. Those from Megumin, thank you for the $5 there. Deus Ex Mankind Divided was delayed to divide it into more pieces to sell. The irony of that name, yeah.
Awesome.
That's another thing I hate about AAA too, is they literally cut out pieces of the game just to sell you back as DLC.
They did that with the last what was it, Battlefield, right? They they only released like
Broken
part of the campaign. Then they released a little more of the campaign. I think very little, if any, of the multiplayer came out right off the bat, and then they eventually added a battle royale mode. It's like, why didn't all that come out at once? I paid $60 for the game. I didn't actually have to buy the game, but those who did, it's like you pay $60 for a game, you should expect to get $60 for worth of a game, not chunks.
Yeah, and they were probably already on the disc too. So
yeah,
that's the whole. It's pathetic how I mean, you could tell. This is why I say the gamers get the industry they deserve, because they're starting to excuse on disc DLC now.
Mm.
Like, what? So you're okay with this company selling you shit that you already bought? I mean, if you got the physical copy, it's on the disc.
All you're paying for is a crack to open it. It's just, it's kind of reminds me. I don't know if you ever, I'm sure a lot of people out there, I mean, you may have too. Like, I haven't done it in a long time, but I used to, download games off of torrents, and I crack them and play them for free. But now you're paying to do that. You're paying to crack the game open, and
yeah, it is so fucking
you actually
sad.
paid for it. In the first place, it's ridiculous. I feel that way though anyway about microtransactions a lot of times too. You pay $60 for a game and you get the game, and then you can do let's say a decent amount of a campaign. You can do multiplayer, but if you want to do all these other cool things in multiplayer, well, you got to pay all these extra fees to do that. Even though you just paid $60, you got to pay for all the cool gear and there's some modes you have to unlock by paying for it, and I don't know, it's just bizarre.
But even then, that pales to loot boxes,
right?
But then just let me buy the thing I want. It's like no. You're gonna keep paying to play the slot machine till you get it.
Oh. And I'm glad. It thrills me to see these countries fighting against that, especially the ones that have like a few have now made it illegal loot boxes, and then some are just still really fighting hard in the courts to make it happen. And I mean, I've heard some things in the U.S., some things are happening with that now, but we're still pretty far behind for everyone else that are doing it. But maybe one day we'll finally get all that outlawed, because the biggest thing is that you're allowing children to gamble. There's no way around it. You're actually allowing children to go buy a currency card or get mom and dad's credit card and buy little things to unlock random boxes. You're gambling. It gets a kid gambling.
And
these gambling for children.
Yeah, and these same companies that ban PG-13 rated games for Steam because of some child exploitation shit. Yeah. It's like, no, that's we got to purge that. But NBA 2K, like whatever, the rated 3 and up, it's a fucking casino. It's a gambling simulator.
That game is ridiculous, man. I don't play sports games, but like I've seen the videos where like you had to pay so much to get just a character that should be in the game. You paid $60. All the players should be in there, but no, some of them they're locked behind random loot box shit, and it's like, what the fuck?
Yep. And a lot of people say it's like, oh, no, government intervention's never a good thing. And I agree, actually. But what they're saying is like, oh, just if you give them a foothold into the industry, think of what else they're going to ban, what else they're going to do. And I'm just like, good. I don't care. This entire industry needs to die. I don't give a fuck about it. Now, most of the games I play now are made outside of the quote unquote the industry. It would be like if they were cracking down on DC and Marvel. That I don't care. Unless there's an indication they're coming after us next. Like, nope, I don't care anymore. I mean, the way I see it is watching the game industry and the government is like watching two of my enemies fight each other. Like, both of them, I mean, neither of them are our friends. I mean, the government, it's obvious, but then the game industry, they view you as a wallet. They just want to milk you for all you're worth. I'm not gonna fucking defend them. Fuck them. Whatever happens, let it happen. Like, they're both my enemies.
Well, I mean, again, especially since, I mean, they're charging $60 for these games. Sometimes more of the collector's editions. I feel even more sorry for those people who spend, 80, $100 or whatever for collector's editions, and they still have to pay for microtransactions. And I mean, just the fact that I heard that argument before that, oh, the games are getting bigger, they're getting more elaborate, bigger graphics and worlds and all this stuff. So we need more money to make them, and to get that money, we're gonna ask for you to give us or convince you to pay microtransactions to do that. But at the same time, you see companies making bigger, better, broader games and not having to do that, like CG Project Red. As far as I know, Cyberpunk's not going to have microtransactions. That game's going to be like 100 times bigger than Witcher 3 was. So what the fuck, Obviously a bunch of lying assholes. Just sad. Like you said, bunch of greedy, billionaires just trying to milk us for all we're worth.
Yeah, and the thing is, one of my favorite pet topics is bloat, because that's what it is. I mean, you got if an indie developer sells 4 million copies of their game, like, they're probably literally going to shit their pants in excitement, like, holy fuck, I'm a millionaire now. But when I remember when Squeenix released the first of the Tomb Raider reboots. And it only sold 4 million, and they were so disappointed with it, and that the future of the franchise was in limbo. And the reason is bloat. And then now 4 million would be more than enough to pay the dev team and the marketing budget. But then you have to pay all the other unrelated departments in the company. You got to pay the CEO's bonus. You got to pay all the shareholders. You got to pay back the investors. Mm-hmm. That's where most of the money goes. Because when all these companies try to pitch think of the poor devs card, bullshit. The money the developers themselves, the people who actually made the game, get is pocket change. It's nothing. Most of that money is just middlemen skimming off the top. It's the fucking bloat. Yeah, and so this industry needs a good crash to get the bloat out. And then eventually it'll only be developers left, which is what we need. Like developers, artists, animators, people who actually work on the game. You don't need to be funding a giant bloated ass parasitical organization around you. But it'll happen sooner or later. And I can't wait to see it.
It's like we're all just sitting around waiting for these markets to just crash and burn. Unfortunately, that's the state we're in right now. But
oh yeah, well, and comics did, and look at what happened. Marvel and DC are shit, and look at all the awesome indies that are coming out now.
Yep,
way better in a lot of cases, way better than Marvel and DC were even when they were good. So this we're going to see this in gaming too. Yeah, now with gaming though,
there have been some great indie games coming out, the last few 10 years or so, and they just keep blowing me away. Especially developers like Digital Revolver and or publishers. I say they're a publisher, but still.
Oh, Devolver Digital, yeah, yep.
Yeah, they make some crazy games, dude. I'm like, the games that I've been wanting my whole life, for them to do, and some of the other developers as well. It's like, thank you,
Yeah. Yeah, and
thanks for taking the risks. Thanks for having the bravery to say I'm not going to make another Call of Duty. I'm not going to make another World of Warcraft or whatever. I'm going to go and make something totally different, but still in the vein of really fun and awesome that came before. And that's totally what they're doing. A lot of these indie games too, they just do radical stuff you've never seen before. I mean, still that's along the lines of what you've seen, but the mechanics of some of these games are just really, really creative and really fun.
Yeah, the only problem with the indie game scene is how, at least on Steam, is with how fucking crowded it is. Yeah, there's just so much garbage and shovelware there. I mean, when you got hundreds of indie games releasing every day, It's pretty damn hard to stand out. And it's the same with indie comics now, actually, which is why I said if you are working on a comic, release it ASAP, because the industry is going to get more and more crowded, especially as people who like flee the sinking ships of Marvel and DC, and you got actual like industry pros trying to get by on crowdfunding as well.
Yeah, that's crazy too, seeing the pros out there doing it, but
and then failing.
Yeah.
I mean, I really wonder how Sean Gordon Murphy's going to do because he's supposed to launch an Indiegogo eventually. So we'll, yeah, that's maybe he's not anymore, because I think DC is giving him a shit ton of money, and DC they gave him control of his own like little sub universe of Batman. So maybe he's not going to have the time to do it. I don't know. Yeah, but that's what I want to see is, because that's a guy, he's an industry pro, and he has done some SJW shit. I mean, at least in his content. So you see Zach's latest review of the last Batman, but he's really good interacting with the fans. And most of his stuff is spectacular, minus the occasional woke garbage. He could do well, but if he fails at crowdfunding, I don't think any of these pros have a chance.
Right. Yeah, I would say him. I would actually say if Greg Capullo was going to do a crowdfunding, I think there's more of a chance he would succeed, honestly, than Sean Gordon Murphy. But just because he's been around longer, and I haven't known Capullo to really do any kind of, woke stuff. But I don't know. Plus, I don't know. I just think he would do, because he's been around for a while. He's got a big name. He used to do Spawn and Batman and stuff. But if it comes to that point, which it does seem like it's going to come to that point, where all these pros, like we talked about earlier, are just going to be out there crowdfunding because no one's gonna, well, some of them they will. I mean, shit, Greg Capullo can come into CG and kill it, but yeah. Some of those people, like especially a lot of the Marvel names, they're not going to get very far.
Yeah, especially since after Image, how Marvel and DC have put effort into crippling their artists, because you can't let your artist get too big, or he's just these corporations don't want them going indie. So every time an artist is getting too big, we're pulling you off this project now. You're going to do this. You're going to do the latest Max Visaggio book. Have fun. Yeah, and they cripple these promising artists' careers. And meanwhile, here we are. If you deliver good shit, you can make good money. Yeah, and all these Marvel and DC artists that stuck with them this whole time, didn't bail when they had the chance. They're just going to be another name in the flood of people that are about to enter the crowdfunding comic sphere.
Yep.
So, yeah, I would say, don't forget the backstory. Yeah, that's right. Boobs. Yeah, plot and backstory. That's what we need. That's all you need to shill. It's that Batman is the patriarch of toxic masculinity. We need more stories about Whammons acting like toxic men. That's empowering. Oh, that right there has always bugged me. The same women a lot of time, and in real life, I'm not even talking about comics, like in real life, a lot of these hardcore feminists that can't shut up about how everything, even remotely masculine, is toxic, as they themselves are trying to become men. Like from their appearance to the way they act, like they're literally trying to become men as they're ripping on everything masculine being toxic. Well, that sure reveals a lot about you. That's all I'm going to say. Yeah, I mean, I know for a fact if I really hated something, that's the last thing I'd try to become. But whatever. Whatever.
I don't get it either.
Yeah,
I guess you can kind of say, oh, you gotta to defeat what you hate, you gotta become it. But I don't know, man.
Well, that's another weird thing.
Yeah. I wouldn't say, dude, I don't really dissing on women, but that they're already hard enough to understand. Now you got on top the fact that they want to do all that.
Yeah, they turn themselves into men, and then they wonder why men don't find them attractive anymore too. Like, bitch, if I found you attractive now, I'd be gay. I'm sorry. Like, I'm not attracted to men. What do you expect? After you become one, I'm not going to be attracted to you. They don't get it, but it is extra funny to watch though. I agree. It's pretty funny to see. But yeah, these. And the biggest, actually, the most confusing thing for me when it comes to women, though, is they complain, oh, men have all the power. Men are stronger than us. They hold all the political power. That the men control everything. So we need to change that. And meanwhile, I'm like, whoa, bitch, who controls the men, though? It doesn't matter how powerful a man is. A lot of men would like white knight for a good-looking woman in a heartbeat. And
sure.
it would be like me being mad that my plow horse is stronger than me. How the fuck does that make sense? And see, all they have to do to keep men like wrapped around their little fingers is take care of themselves and not be a total cunt.
Mm-hmm.
But those two things are too much for feminists, for modern women. That's the part that confuses me. Say, all you got to do is take care of yourself and not be a cunt, and most men would bend over backwards and do anything you ask. But you'd still rather be a man. Okay. Whatever. That's more men for the women that can do that, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. Honestly, a good joke. Yeah. Well, the part where I said, if they actually did it, yeah. Yeah, that's right. And most of these women look like teenage boys. No, that's most of the women in comics. I mean, here you see with Chaotic Flux. I mean, look at those. Look at those bulges on the chest right there. What are those? I haven't seen those in comics in a while.
Right. Yeah, that's another thing. It amazes me how they're just, I don't know, no form. Yeah,
well, your boy Zach says approved body type. All women have to have the same body type.
Right.
Yeah, or no, my favorite one was when he was reviewing some comics a few months ago, and he said, flip the page to a character that looked like a man. Said, now this character, this is a woman, by the way. How can you tell? Because she looks like a man.
That's awesome.
Yep. Yeah. If a character looks like a man, it's probably a woman.
I still can't get over how it was like, I think it was back in October or so. Anyway, when that came out about the Captain Marvel looks like Jay from Jay and Silent Bob.
Oh shit! Yeah,
you remember that? I was like, what are they doing?
That he's absolutely right though. That is what she looks like.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck? I don't know, man. It's amazing how much they hate beauty. It really is.
Yeah, and imagine if us guys did the same thing. I mean, shit, when you watch a movie, would you rather see guys that look like you or guys that look like Schwarzenegger in his prime?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
that's one of the things that bugged me about that last Predator movie. They're all just like normal looking, like office guys running around with guns, and I'm like, if I was like looking for a team to survive a bunch of predators coming after me, especially a super predator, this is not the team I would be sticking with,
Yeah, exactly. I'd be like, okay, where's all the ex-special forces guys? I'm going to go to where they are. Yeah, like, fuck all you guys. You could be predator food.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. A lot of this shit just doesn't make any sense at all. But no, I guess
it's not fun. That's the big thing. It's the biggest thing to me. It's not fun. It's not. It's about escapism. That's all these movies and TV shows and comic books and video games, and it's about escaping reality and jumping into something else for a while and enjoying that world, not copies of boring reality or copies of weird people that you would never hang out with. Yeah,
And that's what pisses them off. No, they like, oh, I know this is your escapism. That's not supposed to be realistic, but we need it to look exactly like real life. And fuck you. This is why your shit's gonna die. Yeah, this is why everything you make is gonna flop, and then people like us are gonna come out. Speaking of making a Doom comic over here. Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, so actually, how yeah, those little baby like aliens they are about human size, right?
Yeah, for a limited time, they grow very quickly. So that you're just at the point where after they just had made one, it hasn't quite grown into full size.
Man, you should cosplay as one of those next time you go to a convention.
That would be awesome. Oh man,
Yeah.
I have to get like I don't know how much that would cost to build, but
Well, judging by what the furries say, it'd probably be about $5,000 for a good one,
right?
At least. But yeah. Oh, and Imagination, thank you for the two there. I've been sick of AAA acting like I'm paying for the IP and not just a copy of their shitty to above average games. Yeah,
exactly.
Oh yeah, no,
well put.
Yeah, and that's what Blizzard seems to have forgotten. Like, remember when they used to set the trends? And now they're trying to find one to follow, and they're failing every time.
Yep, it's that pathetic. They're just copying everyone else and I don't know, and redoing their old stuff, which I'm fine with that. But at the same time, it's like if you're not succeeding at the non-remakes while you're going and making remakes, and then failing at the remake, it's like Jesus. Just chasing yourself, run after your own tail, basically, or eating your own tail. I mean that the Reforged, and then I don't know, that was
refunded.
Crazy.
Yeah. No. These God, I really don't like Jim Sterling as a person, but he does say some good things about half the time, and one of them he had this very perceptive point about how the game industry, the AAA game industry, is choking itself to death. Like, remember before live services, you bought a game, you played it for like 60 to a couple hundred hours, you finished it, and then you bought another game, and you like repeated the process, right? You just and so there was room in the market for hundreds of similar games even. But now that everything has to be a live service and is designed around keeping you addicted and milking your wallet as long as possible, you only have time for one or possibly two ever. Yep. And once you spend money on it, you now have that sunken cost in there as well. So you're way less likely to leave it. And then so the entire game, the entire audience that these companies are going after, not the audience that exists. As CD Projekt Red shows, there's plenty of people who want regular fucking games still, but the people who are in the market for live service games, they're all already congregated on the couple of big live services, and they're not going to jump to your new one. Like we saw this with the MMO rush when everyone tried to be World of Warcraft.
Right.
They all went out of business.
Yep.
And that's what's happening now. Like everybody's trying to be the next insert whatever the popular live service is here, and they all go broke. And there may be more people gaming than ever, but they're concentrated on the fewest number of games that they've ever been.
Right. Yeah, you look at all the people playing Fortnite and Call of Duty, and like you said, there's like maybe 10 or let's say maybe 20 at most games where majority of the gaming industry or the gaming fan base is concentrated on, and then you get occasionally you'll get Jedi Fallen Order, you get Cyberpunk and what have you, and they're playing those games, sure, but you have that mound of money sitting there that they spent on this. So you got to go back and play more Destiny, you got to go back and play more Fallout 76 or wherever it is. It's like a weight that holds them there, and at the same time, it's not feeding these new ideas. It's not feeding these new IPs that are potentially coming or could come, because the audience isn't going to go to the new stuff. Then you're not, Strangles or not Strangles. stunts the industry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then a game like Sekiro comes out, and the industry's like, what? People still buy that single player shit,
right?
Yeah, they just forget all about it, or like we talked way at the beginning with the Space Sims,
huh? Yeah, like EA was stressing that single player games are dead, and then they release Jedi Fallen Order, and it sells like gangbusters. Like, oh, okay, all right, take that back.
No,
they're just saying that because they want you to buy into all their multiplayer games with all the microtransactions.
Oh no, they're just going to make that. This is why they're pushing so hard for the cloud. They want cloud. They want gaming to be exclusively streamed on the cloud, so they can have full control over you and your experience. And that's the end of modding. So guess what? All the things that used to be mods now they're microtransactions. Yeah,
crazy.
Yeah, but this is the industry that and see again. As long as gamers keep buying into this shit, they have no right to bitch. Yeah, you got to, if you keep, like you say, if you keep complaining about loot boxes, but you keep playing those gacha games and pouring money into them, you got no right to bitch. You're the one that's enabling this. Yeah, you're the one you're the whale that's giving these companies all that money.
Yeah, speak with your wallet.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep, exactly. And that's what I've been doing more and more. Yeah, once I realized how big my backlog is, and I never need to buy another game again. So, yeah, fuck them.
There's a lot of games that I love so much that I want to go back and play. So even the ones I haven't played, I'm set.
Yeah, fuck yeah, man. That's another thing. Remember when games used to have replay value?
Yeah.
Those are the days, man.
Well, some still do. I mean, heck, I love the shit out of that new God of War. I'll go back and play that. But what is it? Any of the Metal Gear games? I love the whole Metal Gear series. I'll go back and play those. And what is it? Final Fantasy. Just about any of those, I'll go back and play.
Oh man, it's fun, man. It is fun, but yeah, I think I'm gonna have to head off here shortly. Yeah. So you're gonna do one more pitch for Chaotic Flux.
So, Chaotic Flux centers on a team called the Crimson Flame who unite in the future to rid the world of mutant abominations that are taken over, called Dread Fiends. And the Crimson Flame stands as humanity's last hope against these horrific monsters that are hell-bent on devouring the human race. If you enjoy the 90s style X-Men, particularly the Age of Apocalypse storyline, as well as the story twists and styling writing of Game of Thrones, the horrific monsters of Resident Evil, and the diverse type teams like Battle Chasers, you're going to love Chaotic Flux.
Sweet. Yeah, that is everything I've seen. That's true. And you don't see book one in these tiers, but if you're jumping in, you missed book one. All you do is click on one of these and get the perk. And there you go. There's book one. You could get it autographed, unsigned, the PDF. You could even keep stacking issues of book two for less than the first one was. Yep. So yeah.
You can get issue 1 and 2 together for just $25 with shipping for the physical copy. Or you can get the PDFs of 1 and 2 for just $8. And that's 54 pages of story.
Yep, and book 1 is already out, and book 2 will be done this month, right?
Yep.
Okay, so I'm guessing you're going to run the campaign once the 20 days are up. It's not going to go in demand because you're going to have it all ready to go.
Yeah, I'm still debating if I'm going to do on demand. Just because, I mean, like I said, right now it kind of depends on the printer. If and exactly when the pages are going to be done. I'm shooting for the pages to be done this month, but if it has to go on a little more into April, and campaign ends in 20 days, then I'll still run it a little bit until the printing is done, and then the books are shipped to me, and then I'll ship them out. That's probably when I'll stop the in demand.
All right, and then it's on to book 3, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, I'm already. Let's see where I'm at. I'm about 85% done with the script for issue 3, and I'm planning to launch the campaign for it. Well, of course, I get some art done first, but this summer I'm shooting for the campaign on issue 3.
Sweet. Sounds like you're going to be busy, man. Awesome. So there you go. And you want to support some excellent, entertaining indie comics. Yeah, no political agenda in this one, right? Just blowing up freaking aliens.
Yep.
All right, cool, man.
Sci-fi horror.
Yeah. So you heard the man. Go back Chaotic Flux. I'm actually going to post the link in the chat one more time, and there it is. And I'll be seeing you guys tomorrow, and hopefully by either tomorrow or Friday, I'll know what my schedule is going to be next week, because I'm not even going to be in the country. So yeah, man, I'll be seeing you guys then. So peace out.
Bye, everybody. Thanks for joining us.